The Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association presents Saturday Night at the Races, The Next Generation. Saturday Night at the Races is presented by the Galbraith Equine Center at the Ohio State University Veterinary Medical Center and sponsored by Dublin Valley Farms, The Little Brown Jug, Midland Acres, and Prolific Equine. Now let's go to Eldorado Scioto Downs for the next generation. Hello everyone and welcome to Eldorado Scioto Downs. It's Next Generation Night. I'm Frank Froz along with Jay Wolf, and we've got a big night of racing in front of you from where we're going to pick up the card. But tonight, 15 races here at Eldorado Scioto Downs, nearly $1.2 million in purses. We've had 3 Sire Stakes races tonight. We will have 4 Next Generations, 3 Opens, the Nadia Lobell, and the Moneymaker. Can't get a bigger night than this except for Super Night.
Absolutely not. And as you know, this is kind of like Christmas in July, as they say. It's awfully exciting, especially for those who have bred these horses 3 years ago when they're making decisions on who to breed. It all comes down basically till today. This will be the first start for many of the horses in the Next Generation.
Especially in those where we're going to pick up our coverage tonight. We're going to have the 4 Next Generation races. We will then have the Moneymaker. We will then have an Ohio Sire Stakes race, and then we will have the Nadia Lobell after that. But so that's where we're going to pick it up. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to tell you about the Next Generation, our first race on our card, the 2-year-old Filly Pace, when we return to Eldorado Scioto Downs.
Prolific Equine, now managing the finest mares and stallions in Ohio, including Catch the Fire, Captain Kirk, and in Indiana, the new superstar, Why Not Now. The first crop of Catch the Fire produced the most expensive yearling to ever be sold at an Ohio sale, and his progeny are now racing in 2024. Captain Kirk bred some of the finest mares in the state during his first year in the breeding shed. Have a free conversation with Prolific Equine to see how your mare can produce a champion to dominate in the sales ring and on the track. If you own a broodmare, send an email right now to info@prolificequine.com.
The future is bright in Ohio. Ohio Sire Stakes, Buckeye Stallion Series, 66 county and independent fairs. Whether it's the Ohio Sire Stakes, the Buckeye Stallion Series, or the county fairs, Ohio has a place for your racehorse. This year, Ohio breds are racing for nearly $23 million in stakes purses. Be part of the winning. Breed, buy, race, win in Ohio.
Welcome back to Eldorado Scioto Downs as we get set for our first race on the night, and this is going to be the Next Generation 2-year-old Filly Pace. And Jay, as you had said, this is when a lot of these horses are waiting to go, and we're going right away. They're not waiting, so let's go to the post parade for the first one, and then we'll tell you about these horses when we return.
Hero Filly Pace, the first $150,000. Scratch number 2, Guard the Fire, is out sick. Stakes record 151-3 by Sea Silk in 2021 for driver Chris Page and trainer Ron Burke. Here's the field for the 7th. Number 1 is Spinal Cracker, owned by Carl Howard, trained by Jeff Nysonger. Trevor Smith drives. The daughter of Rock and Amadeus, number 1, Spinal Cracker. 2 is Scratch. Number 3 is Play On Player, owned and trained by Kurt Kane. Aaron Merriman will drive the daughter of Dancing Yankee. Number 4, The Word Is Out, daughter of Well Said, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Knox Services, Beastie LLC, and Raz Racing, trained by Ron Burke with Chris Page. 5 is Prolific Fire by Catch the Fire, owned by Greg Luther Racing. Todd Luther trains Brett Miller. Number 6 is A Daughter of Fear, the Dragon Queen of Fear, is owned by Ashley Dunn and trainer Ed Miller with Ronnie Wren Jr. Number 7 is Odds On Chesapeake. She by Down by the Seaside, owned by Odds On Racing. Trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. with Luke Hanners. Number 8, Gorgeous Package, is owned by the stable. The daughter of Lather Up is trained by Jason McGinnis with Anthony McDonald. And completing the field is number 9, Maddie's Delight. Also by Lather Up, is owned by SCP Stable. Steve Carter trains. Dan Noble is in the sulky. Win, play, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta wagering, race 7.
So there is the field for the first, the next generation 2-year-old filly pace. The number 1 again, Spinal Cracker. That is Trevor Smith will be in the bike for trainer Jeff Nysonger. Carl Howard owns and bred. Spinal Cracker has made 1 start this year. That was a 2nd place finish here at Scioto Downs. And a half was timed in 1:54 and 4. It did have 1 qualifying win.
Yeah, this is actually Carl Howard's 4th next-gen starter. As you mentioned, he bred this one, so obviously turned a lot of heads with that 54 and 4 mile last time out.
Scratch the number 2, Guard the Fire. That was Brian Brown's entry into today, so that is scratched. The number 3 is Play On Player. Aaron Merriman will drive for Kurt Kane, who owns and also bred this Dancing Yankee out of the Manhart mare. Plays for keeps, coming off a win here at Eldorado Scioto Downs in a 2-year-old non-winners of 1. Has made 3 starts this year and earned $7,042 this year.
Trainer Kurt Kane has been training since 1998. The first place check tonight, Frank, is $75,000, so that would be his combined earnings since 2010.
Wow, that'd be a nice way to double
kick
that.
off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 4 is The Word Is Out. Chris Page will drive for trainer Ron Burke. This is a well said out of the mare Treacherous Secret, owned by Burke Racing Stable. Knox Services, who's had a big night so far tonight. Beastie and RAS Racing, making its first career start. Has had 2 qualifiers, finished 5th in 1, and was a winner in the other one. Both of those over at the Meadows.
If you haven't heard this before, but Page and Burke have teamed up to win the first 2 in this 2-year-old filly pace a couple years back with Winella Hanover, and then came back the next year with Sea Silk.
The number 5 is Prolific Fire. Brett Miller drives for Todd Luther. Greg Luther Racing owns this Catch the Fire out of the well-said mare Alex's Jewels, making its first career start. This was originally a $20,000 purchase at the Ohio Select Sale. They then bought this horse from Brian Brown before its first qualifier.
Yeah, Luther Brothers, this will be their 10th start in the next generation, and they're still looking for their very first win.
The number 6 is Queen of Fear. Ronnie Wren Jr. will drive for Edward Miller. This is a Fear of the Dragon out of the Yankee Cruiser Mirror Knockout Queen, making its first career start. Was a big winner in a qualifier up at Northfield by 27 lengths. Paced in 1:57 and 1. Ashley Dunn and Edward Miller are the owners and breeders.
Yeah, this is Eddie Miller's 3rd start here in the next generation. He was 3rd, and with moments created in the 2-year-old filly trot.
The number 7 is Odds On Chesapeake. Luke Hanners drives for Virgil Morgan Jr. This first career start for this Down by the Seaside filly.
Yeah, this is actually Luke Hanners' first start in the next generation. It's Virgil's 7th. Obviously, the winningest driver since I think the Reagan administration, or winning trainer since the Reagan administration, has 2 second-place finishes here in the next generation.
The number 8 is the Stables.ca entry, Gorgeous Package. Anthony McDonald drive. Jason McGinnis is the trainer. This is a lather up out of Special Package. Was a winner in its first start, pacing in 1:58 and 2.
Anthony McDonald ranks 5th in the driver's earnings with $147,000. If you didn't get a chance to watch this one start, you need to go back and look at the start at Northfield Park. Was 3 wide in the first turn, blew the turn in the last turn, and came back and still won by a neck.
And the number 9 is Maddie's Delight. Dan Noble will drive for Steve Carter. 1 win in 1 start for this lather up out of the Western Hanover mare Moonlight Delight. And that came down at Circleville in an Ohio Fair race, paced in 2:07 and 3, but in the qualifier here at Scioto went in 1:56 and 1.
Steve Carter has a win in the next generation by a horse you may have heard of, Charlie May.
There you go, the first winner. So as they get set, starting gate is starting to roll again. This is the 2-year-old filly pace. Total purse $150,000. The winner gets $75,000. What a great way to start off a 2-year-old season.
Right now, your 2-to-1 choice is Prolific Fire. That might not be a good thing because the favorites are 1 for 4 in this division.
Well, and also 1 and 2, you said, are not good post positions. So
Post 1, 2, and 6 have never won a Next Generation. So when you draw the rail, normally you're saying, oh, great, but not so much here. So play on player actually move into post 2, so that might not be a good thing for Mr. Kane's Dancing Yankee filly.
Gate is rolling. Let's send it up to Barry Vickroy for the call of the Next Generation 2-year-old filly pace.
From the rail out for the Next Generation 2-year-old filly pace, Spinal Cracker, Play on Player, The Word is Out, Prolific Fire, Queen of Fear, Odds on Chesapeake, Gorgeous Package, and Maddie's Delight on the outside. They're moving up and moving in, and here they go. They're off. Out for the lead. Queen of Fear left alertly. Prolific Fire will go with her to her inside from the outside. Gorgeous Package crossing over to the pylons. Play on Player. Away fifth. Spinal Cracker to the inside. The Word is Out with Steppy early. She's settling in as they head to the quarter. Odds on Chesapeake is next. And the early trailer is Maddie's Delight. Make their way around the turn and head to the quarter. Prolific Fire on the outside. Brett wants the lead, and he'll get it 26-2. Queen of Fear yields for the pocket. Gorgeous Package is there, third, racing fourth. Is Play on Player. Spinal Cracker is next in fifth. Then it is The Word is Out. Odds on Chesapeake and the trailer Maddie's Delight. Their single file as they roll into the clubhouse turn, march on to the half. It's Prolific Fire who shows the way. 6-5 favorite on the engine. Racing in second is Queen of Fear. Gorgeous Package stays in. Play on Players out and moving for Merriman. Spinal Cracker will go with the cover to the inside. Odds on Chesapeake is safe ground, but is now pinned in. The half 55-2. 29 flat second panel. Then the race is on. Play on Player puts a neck in front. Battling back to the inside. Prolific Fire. They're now on even terms with less than 3/8 to go. And Prolific Fire to the inside, battles back and reclaims the lead. Play on Players. She stalled out and got a bit steppy. Started to retreat. Queen of Fear to the inside. She's had the trip. Out 3 wide. Spinal Cracker to the inside. Saving ground. Gorgeous Package. 3/4. 123-3. 28-1 backside. It's down to Prolific Fire and Queen of Fear as they come to the top of the stretch. Others will have to roll up from the back. The Word is Out is now third. Maddie's Delight from far back into the stretch. Queen of Fear takes over the lead. The Word is Out is digging in and tracking her down. Queen of Fear. The Word is Out on the outside. The Word is Out will win the Next Generation. From Queen of Fear, Maddie's Delight, and Prolific Fire, 152-2.
Well, you said it, Jay. You know, when you get Chris Page together and Ron Burke, things happen, and there you go. The Word is Out comes roaring down the lane to pick up the victory for the Burke stable. Knox Services, Beastie, and RAS Racing.
I don't think you would have told us 10 years ago that a very first start for a 2-year-old filly pacer would be in 52-2. I think a lot of people would think you're nuts, but that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing nowadays. First career start, 52-2, impressive mile. Came well off the pace and got the tiring Queen of Fear in the last couple of strides.
I'm not sure who was third. Prolific Fire, I thought, was fourth.
9's third.
So we'll have to see.
9.
Maddie's Delight finished third, and Prolific Fire finished fourth, who had the lead through most of it, and ends up finishing fourth.
9-5.
There you go.
It was spirited to the first quarter, and Prolific Fire and Brett Miller led the field past the 3/4, but ended up yielding to Queen of Fear, the Ronnie Wren driven trainee by Edward Miller. But the Word is Out really came from well off the pace, and as I said, got him in the last few strides.
28-4 final quarter for your winner. The Word is Out by Well Said out of the Captain Treacherous mare, Treacherous Secret, bred by Schaefer and Sons of Pennsylvania.
$24,000 yearling purchase, and guess what? I'm sure they're on the positive this now.
Exactly, you know they are.
Third win for Burke and Page in this division.
They're making way back to the winner's circle now. Let's go back to Barry.
$50,000, the next generation 2-year-old filly pace number 4. The word is out. A 2-year-old daughter of Well Said out of the Captain Treacherous mare, Treacherous Secret, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Knox Services, Beastie LLC, and Raz Racing. Ron Burke, the winning trainer. Chris Page gets his second win on tonight's program. Driving double for Chris. First career start, first career win, and a new lifetime mark for the word is out. Wins the next generation, 152-2.
Just let me know which ones you don't want to do. I think it's kind of funny. Barry says a new career mark.
Well, first time you win, you get your mark.
Yeah, first start, you get a new career mark.
Big crowd in the winner's circle as they get the blanket and that $75,000 to the ownership group.
Saw Mark Weaver when I pulled in tonight, so I know he's here. Ron Burke, I'm sure, is warming up everything, so,
so
he's going to have a busy night. Unofficially, number 6, Queen of Fear, was second. Number 9, Maddie's Delight, was third. And unofficially, your 5, Prolific Fire, is fourth.
And you take a look at this too, you know, your second place finisher, Queen of Fear, making its first career start, and your fourth place finisher, Prolific Fire, also making its fourth career start. You know, Play on Player did have one start, you know, now adds a second hit on the board finish, so now 2 for 4 in its early career for Kurt Kane out of Adrian, Michigan, so he'll be happy. How do you calculate into what he did into his earnings you had if he won it? So.
Well, I didn't go all the way. I didn't. if this happens, but
do that. So previous winners in the 2-year-old filly pace back in 2020, it was Winella Hanover, Page and Burke. 2021, Sea Silk, Page and Burke. 2022, My Red Sea, Kane Kaufman, who drove and trained in 2023 Majestic Seas, Ronnie Wren Jr. and Brian Brown.
So congratulations to the connections. Obviously, we have some Ohio connections with Chris Breckler with the Knox Services of Mount Vernon, Ohio. Saw him earlier tonight. So even though it says Burke.
Down here in the winner's circle with winning driver Chris Page of the next generation 2-year-old filly pacers. The word is out. Chris, there was a lot of action going on throughout that mile. You had a lot of traffic coming around that last turn. You got a young filly like this. How was she able to handle it professionally, and how were you feeling turning in the stretch?
Well, you know, let's talk about handling it. You know, they do mock races down there at Florida with Ronnie. You know, they train 6 and 7 horses at a time. So this is probably not her first bad drive of the year, you know, her life, I should say. Just thankfully the pace was hot, and they came back to me.
Yeah, and you were aboard this filly for both qualifiers out at the Meadows. Kind of what was your first impression of this filly the first time you sat behind her?
Yeah, I liked her. Very good gaited. Kind of got my little thing that I do. I'm pretty sleepy with them. I really want them sharp for when the money's on the line like tonight. She finished with late pace both qualifiers, and that's why she was able to go 52-2 tonight.
Yeah, and she was impressive doing so. Daughter of Well Said, she's a winner of the next generation. The word is out. 152-2. Chris Page, winning driver. Ron Burke, winning trainer.
Well, word is out on the word is out. Watch for this horse in the Ohio Sire Stakes. Well Said gets its first Sire victory in the next generation.
So just did a little quick math. Chris Page is averaging $46,000 a start in the next generation. When you consider first place is $75,000 and second is $37,500, so that means he's averaging better than a second place finish.
A lot of first and second places. So. So I get the payout was $1,560, I think it said, for the winner. There's the replay now. So first race is in the books, and we are also on Fox Sports 2. So as Jay, we were talking in the break, they're going to be hitting these things a little quickly as we come up. So we'll have the next generation for the 2-year-old filly trot when we return to Scioto Downs right after this.
For over 50 years, Midland Acres has provided top-quality Ohio-bred colts and fillies. As a third-generation farm, we understand the importance of delivering well-cared-for and well-mannered yearlings. Get in the winner's circle with the yearlings by Fear the Dragon, Yankee Cruiser, Long Tom, Summa Cum Laude, Ready for Moaning, and Bit of a Legend. See our yearlings at the Blooded Horse Sale August 27th and the Ohio Select Sale September 15th.
The future is bright in Ohio. Ohio Sire Stakes, Buckeye Stallion Series, 66 county and independent fairs. Whether it's the Ohio Sire Stakes, the Buckeye Stallion Series, or the county fairs, Ohio has a place for your racehorse. This year, Ohio breds are racing for nearly $23 million in stakes purses. Be part of the winning. Breed, buy, race, win in Ohio. The Delaware County Fair, where history meets horsepower. Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime as the world-famous Little Brown Jug takes center stage. Witness the heart-pounding action, the thundering hooves, and the sheer determination of these incredible athletes compete for the coveted Little Brown Jug title. Don't miss your chance to be a part of history. For ticket and hospitality options, visit littlebrownjug.com. The Little Brown Jug, where champions are made and legends are born. Be there!
Welcome back to Eldorado Scioto Downs. As the first of our races is in the books, we will have the next one on tap is the 2-year-old filly trot in the next generation. We're trying to get Chris Breckler of Knox Services up to our broadcast location. We are upstairs in the new grandstand, year-old grandstand, in Three Diamonds room, where they had a little reception for all the owners and connections of the horses that were in the next generation. So, this race, we've got 9 going to the gate, including one with Rosie Weaver. Rosie Weaver thought she was going to have 2 in, ended up only having 1. Earlier today, I had the chance, I caught up with Rosie Weaver on the backstretch. Her stable is going through a little bit of a tough time. She's got some horses that are not doing well. So let's see if we can go to that interview with Rosie from earlier today. With Rosie Weaver, only has 1 in tonight. Wild Child Annie, you got the rail, but you're not too confident tonight.
No, because like we talked about earlier, I got just found out Thursday on the 4th of July that my grain had been made with moldy corn, bad corn, toxic, whatever you want to call it. Literally every horse in my entire stable has been exposed to toxic corn, so some immune systems are stronger than others, but there's literally every horse in my stable has been affected in some way or another, and if you've been following my horses at all, you can see that they haven't been racing to what they, been capable of doing. And I got some really nice horses, and it's bad enough for our stable, and let alone my owners, pay me, and the kids that work for me doing all the work the right way and everything, and it just sucks. I just hope they can overcome it.
You can see the frustration in your face. How long is it going to take to get your stable back to where it should be?
Hopefully, for the majority of them, I can get them over it in, a couple weeks. But like I said, some immune systems are a lot stronger than others. I can tell some are clearly affected by it a lot more than others. I got a really, really nice filly that probably would have been here today named Sassy Sally that her liver's so messed up, Doc's exact words were she shouldn't even be alive. So it might take a while for her. We pulled blood, and it's, like I said, every horse we pull blood on has liver and kidney issues, which is because that's, what's supposed to work to get the toxins on a daily basis out. And it's just overloaded, so I don't know how long the grain was like that. You couldn't tell. The horses kept eating it, and it looked fine, it smelled fine. It was just enough of, bad corn that I think it affected them. But it obviously didn't kill them, but it like fried them. They can't finish. I mean, I had horses at Marion at the fair the other day. I was driving, and it felt like they were absolutely just jogging, and confident and everything, and all of a sudden it's like the bottom fell out, and it's just like driving a car that just run out of gas.
Knowing all that, what do you expect tonight out of Wild Child Annie?
Well, we got the rail, which is great, because hopefully we can get a good trip, and honestly, she's one of the strongest fillies. I don't know that she's faster than Sassy Sally, but she had a bad knee injury earlier in the year that just I never dreamt it would look as good as it does today. So she's already overcome that, and there's a story behind her when she was a little 6-week-old foal that she was lost in a thunderstorm with her mom, got hit by a car and was in the ditch, and there's quite a story behind this filly, really, and she's overcome a lot of stuff. So if there was a filly in my barn I'd have to pick to overcome that, I would pick her.
Hopefully the bad luck ends tonight for you.
That would be great.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.
To Jay Wolf with Chris Breckler of Max Services.
We're joined here by Chris Breckler, winner of the first race, the opening leg or the third leg of the 3-year-old colt sire stakes earlier, Tennessee Tom, and you come back with the next generation, the first event. It's got to be a good night for you so far.
Yeah, so far it's been a great night. I mean, all credit goes to Chris and Ronnie. Obviously, they have the horses ready when it's time to go, and you can see that with their performances.
You know, I'll be honest, I didn't have my eye on your filly that last race because you paid attention to the top, but coming down the stretch, I'm like, wait a minute, who's this coming? And it looked like Chris Page, so I knew it had to be you and Burke.
That's correct. You know, Chris kind of just knows how to tactically drive, and he does a great job doing that, especially with a 2-year-old first start. And he just does a wonderful job with all the horses he drives for us and for everybody that he actually drives for. He does a great job.
So you've been in the business a long time. If I would have told you 10 years ago you're going to have a 2-year-old filly first start 52-2, what would your reaction have been?
Crazy, but we Cecil set the state record a couple years ago, so It's not surprising with the way the speed is of all these 2-year-olds today.
Yeah, next race is the 2-year-old filly trot. You have Rose Run Allison in there, post 8. A little bit tough to overcome, but again, Chris Page and Ron Burke, it's not a bad duo there.
No, and with young trotters, you just want to stay trotting. You never know what can happen at the end. If you stay trotting, you got a good chance. There's some nice horses in there, and we'll just see what happens.
Obviously, you're very bullish on the state of Ohio and the breeding side. You're getting a lot more involved in the breeding side. We can't thank you enough for your support of Ohio racing, and good luck the rest of the night.
Thank you.
5th time Max Services and Chris Breckler have been in the winner's circle for a next generation race. They'll try to make it 6 in winners when they come back. Wild Child Annie, the Rosie Weaver horse, will draw the rail in that race. Number 2 will be Ronnie Gillespie and Rose's Destiny, able to catch up with Ronnie Gillespie earlier today as well, as this will be the first of his 2 entries in the next generation.
It's his second start as a driver, but first start as an owner and a trainer. So Ron Gillespie's now training out of Greenville, Ohio, so we wish him well with this 2-horse.
So let's see if we got that. Ron Gillespie had a chance to talk to him earlier today. Caught up with Ron Gillespie before we start here today. And Ronnie, you got a pair in today. The first one you're going to have is Rosie's Destiny. What do you like about her?
Consistency. She never made a break. With 2-year-olds, that's one of the biggest problems you have with trotters. And so far, she's been consistent, and that's what I'm hoping for today.
How do you like your chances with her?
Real good. There's a couple of them in there that tried at 58, but I think she's up to what they can try. That was her first time qualifying. She tried at 2 minutes, 28 last quarter, but she up to the test.
Then you also have What's Shaking. You drew the 1 hole. You got to like that.
Yeah, I don't like the 1 hole, but it's a good hole for getting a position. I like the 3 or 4 where I can leave. You can get on the front on that from the 5 to the 3, but it'll get me in a good position. There's a couple of horses right there next to me that going to be leaving hard, but I just want to have him in a good position so when it's time to finish, he can finish.
With these young horses, what's the most important thing about tonight to give you the best chance to win?
Well, one thing about being young horses, a lot of them will make mistakes. You want to be in the right position, have good manners. That's what I went by when I went to put. I had a couple more that I think that were just even better, but these horses are more mature, and I think they'll stay flat, and I can put them in good position.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Slims is the driver. Number 4, Mega Money, daughter of Traffic Caviar, owned by trainer Chris Beaver. Patricia Stable, LA Express Stable, and Slowblom Racing. Aaron Merriman has the lines. Number 5 is Travel Nurse, owned by Joyce McClellan. The daughter of Enterprises, trained by Virgil Morgan Jr. and driven by Brett Miller. 6 is Aunt Lily, by Uncle Peter. She is owned by the stable in Hutchison Harness, trained by Jason McGinnis with Anthony McDonald. 7 is Strawberry Hill, owned by trainer Brad Ader, Shannon Lane, and Randy Yerg. Tyler Smith will drive the daughter of What the Hill. Number 8 is Rose Run Allison, daughter of Long Tom, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Hatfield Stables, Knox Services, and Beastie LLC, trained by Ron Burke with Chris Page. And completing the field is number 9 Up, is a daughter of Uncle Peter, owned by Dark Horse Farm, trained by Matt Burkholder. Brady Brown is in the sulky.
So there is your field for the next generation. The 2-year-old filly trot, will run them down for you again. The number 1 is Wild Child Annie. Ronnie Wren Jr. drives for Rosie Weaver, owned by Heartland Acres and Rosie Weaver. This is a Long Tom out of the Lucky Chucky mare Teacher's Pet. Made 1 start, that was back at the Paulding Fair, finished 4th, has had 3 qualifiers since, best time 2:02 and 4.
Heartland Acres and Rosie Weaver have campaigned a lot of horses together. This is their 6th starter in the next generation.
The number 2 is Ronnie Gillespie's Rose's Destiny. He drives, he trains, and he also owns. This is a $12,000 purchase at the Buckeye Classic sale. A filly by Muscle Up out of Caviar's Rose. Had a qualifier, finished 2nd, trotting in 2 minutes and a 5th, making her first career start.
Ronnie Gillespie, his 2nd start as a driver, 1st as an owner and trainer. He was 2nd last year with Sugar instead.
The number 3 is Our Maggie. Chris Lem drives for John Boutenshone. This is a Long Tom filly out of the mare Working Girl. It is being leased by M&L of Delaware, out of Wilmington, Delaware, making its first career start. A couple of qualifiers, trotted in 2 minutes in the first one, winning that at Pocono.
Lems, who's based out of Northfield Park, will be making his 6th start. He was 2nd last year in this exact same event.
The number 4 is Mega Money. Aaron Merriman drives for Chris Beaver. This was one of the horses we featured on Freshman Focus. This is the Triumphant Caviar out of the Credit Winning Mare Lotto winner, owned by Beaver. Patricia Stables, LA Express, and Sojourn Bloom Racing out of Florida, making its first career start. Did have a qualifying win at Delaware in 2:03 and 2.
Yeah, Chris Beaver and Aaron Merriman teamed up earlier to win tonight. They also won last year with Sponzano.
The number 5 is Travel Nurse. Brett Miller drives for Virgil Morgan Jr. This is an Enterprise out of the Andover Hall mare poster pinup. This was another one we featured on Freshman Focus this year, making its first career start. Has won a pair of qualifiers so far this year. The best time 2:01 and 1. Owned and bred by Joyce McClellan.
This is McClellan. This is her 4th starter. She finished 2nd last year with Sugar instead, the one that was driven by the 2, Ronnie Gillespie.
The number 6 is Aunt Lily. Anthony McDonald drives for Jason McGinnis. This is owned by the Stable.ca and Hutchison Harness. This is an Uncle Peter filly out of Chucky's Lucky Charm. Started 1 race so far. Over at the Meadows, was a winner in 1:58 and 4.
The sire, Uncle Peter, actually has been shut out in the next generation. 6 starters, has yet to have 1 finish in the top 3.
The number 7 is our race favorite right now at 5-2. Strawberry Hill was 12-1 on the morning line. Tyler Smith will drive for Brett Ader. This is a What the Hill out of the Cantab Hall mare Lady Bella, owned by Ader, Lane, and O-Ring. Making its first career start. Does have 3 qualifiers under her belt. Finished 2nd in 2 of those. Was a $13,000 purchase.
Driver Trevor Smith, this is his 8th start. Has a pair of 3rd place finishes, looking for that first win.
The duo of Page and Burke will team up with Rose Run Allison, making her first career start, a $105,000 purchase at the Ohio Select Sale. 3 qualifiers under her belt. 2 wins, finished 6th in the other one. Has a mark of 2:02 and 3 in that qualifier. This is a Long Tom out of the Broadway Hall mare Rose Run Timeless. Burke Racing Stable, Hatfield Stable, Knox Services, and Beastie of Las Vegas are the owners.
This one was a $105,000 yearling purchase for the Long Tom filly. Actually, Long Tom has never had a winner in the Next Generation.
And the number 9 is Up. Brady Brown will drive for Matthew Burkholder. This is an Uncle Peter out of Marion Miller. A Dark Horse Farm is the owner. 2 starts this year, has hit the board in both, a win and a third. The win came at the Meadows in a maiden for 2-year-olds, won by 5 3/4 lengths, went 158 and 2.
Driver Brady Brown, as you said, is based out of the Meadows, and Matthew Burkholder are actually both making their first Next Gen start.
The two of them have paced in under 159. That was Aunt Lily going in 158 and 4 in her win, and in Up in 158 and 2 in her win.
Both of those were actually at the Meadows, so Tim Twaddle trains for the stable when they're Pennsylvania based, but then they bring them over to Ohio, and Jason McInnes gets on as listed as trainer. The favorite right now is Aunt Lily at 5-2. Favorites haven't fared well, 0 for 3.
And the favorite keeps changing here because it was Strawberry Hill. Now it's down to Aunt Lily as they are on their track warming up for this, the Next Generation for the 2-year-old filly trotters. 6 of them making their first career start. And we talked about it so far. Sometimes when you make that first career start here, it's a good one. And, like they say, you can't win them all unless you win that first one.
Yep, and a lot of people think that, races this fast, this early will really hurt a filly or a colt. But last year's winner, Jurassic Hattie, he's undefeated this year, and we'll see her later tonight in the Sire Stakes. Or in the, Moneymaker in the Grand Circuit event. So it'll be great to see how the Ohio breds stack up with the best in the neighboring states. So looking forward to Jurassic Hattie in later on tonight's card.
And she is a special 3-year-old trotter. Has won both legs of the Sire Stakes so far. As the Catch the Fire clock to our start is winding down, the gate will start moving into position for this, the Next Generation for the 2-year-old filly trotters. Wild Child Annie, the number 1. Rose's Destiny is number 2. Our Maggie is 3. Mega Money, number 4. Travel Nurse is number 5. Number 6 is Aunt Lily. Strawberry Hall is number 7. Rose Run Allison, number 8. And Up is number 9.
The bettors are really not sure what to do here. We got 5 at 3.5 to 1, number 2's at 2 to 1, and the 7's at 4 to 1. So they've been bouncing around to 5, 6, and 7 for supremacy here in the wagering.
As a bettor, sometimes you really don't know what you've got with these 2-year-olds too. You may look at a qualifying time, but like we said, those 2 came over from the Meadows, so you really don't know where that is. A couple of them have. We've got one that raced at a fair.
Yeah. I looked, and the favorites are 3 of 14, but the surprising thing, the longest odds were just over 9 to 1.
So we are set to go. Let's send it up to Barry Vickroy for the call of the Next Generation 2-year-old filly trot.
Two-year-old filly trotters for the Next Generation from the Rail Out. Wild Child Annie, Rose's Destiny, Our Maggie, Mega Money, Travel Nurse, Aunt Lily, Strawberry Hill, Rose Run Allison, and on the outside, Up. A field of 9 for the 8th from Sido Down. Start of the mid card, pick 4, and there they go. They're off. Rose's Destiny gets the first call. She'll go out for the lead. Good start for Our Maggie. Center of the track, Aunt Lily. To the inside is Wild Child Annie as Rose's Destiny has jumped it off. That will stack up the backfield. That's in Wild Child Annie to the run, trying to split those breakers. Mega Money moves up from the outside. Up is there 4th. To the inside 5th is Travel Nurse as they start to tighten in. Next is Strawberry Hill. She is followed by Rose Run Allison. Then the trailers are the breakers, Wild Child Annie and Rose's Destiny. The quarter was soft, 29 flat for Aunt Lily. who brings him into the lane the first time as a 7-5 favorite. Racing in second are Maggie. Mega Money has closed the gap, is right there racing in third. Fourth is Up, followed by Travel Nurse, who peeks to the outside from fifth. Next is Strawberry Hill, then it is Rose Run Allison, and then far back to the early breakers, Wild Child Annie and Rose's Destiny. They move by the half. It's Aunt Lily with the lead. The half is up in just a minute. To the inside, our Maggie races in second. Starting to move to the outside, Up and Brady Brown are out and underway. To the inside, Mega Money will continue to save ground. Following cover on the outside is Travel Nurse. Next racing in six is Strawberry Hill. Then it is Rose Run Allison and the trailers, Rose's Destiny and Wild Child Annie. They're out of it to three-quarters they go. It's Aunt Lily with the lead. Our Maggie starts to gap from the pocket as Anthony McDonald gets on the accelerator, and Our Maggie has jumped it off. Now second is Up. To the inside, saving ground. Mega Money. Travel Nurse has gone off stride. At the rail, Strawberry Hill. Outside, Rose Run Allison, three-quarters was 128-4. And it's Aunt Lily with a commanding lead into the stretch. Trying to track her down, Mega Money and Up, but it is all Aunt Lily and Anthony McDonald. They'll win the next generation 2-year-old filly trot. Aunt Lily from Mega Money, Rose Run Allison, and Strawberry Hill, 157-2.
157-2 for your winner, Aunt Lily. Anthony McDonald took her to the lead and never had to worry about it as 4 in that race went off stride. He turned around and looked as they made that final turn to see who was close to him, and nobody was, and comes home a winner in 157-2.
With the stable, you know you're going to have a lot of happy owners.
You know the happiest person in the place is on a day like this?
Anthony.
And Brad Conrad.
Let's feel bad for Brad, right? Is that the old replay here? Shows Anthony McDonald, as you mentioned, looked over his shoulder and couldn't really see much except for Mega Money and Aaron Merriman. The fast closing Rose Run Allison just gets beat for third. What'd they say? If you stay trotting, you are guaranteed fourth.
Well,
or fifth.
That's what Rosie Weaver told us early on, and and I believe might have even been freshman focus. At this point in their career, sometimes you just want a well-mannered one rather than a fast one. But Anthony McDonald has both.
Has both.
He has both.
Absolutely.
And Aunt Lily.
The race really changed earlier in the first 16th when Ronnie Gillespie shot Rose's Destiny out for the lead, went off stride as you're supposed to, went to the pull out to the outside, may have got into Rosie Weaver just a little bit, but caused a little chaos. But the benefactor was Aunt Lily, who went from gate to wire.
And they said they just posted the inquiry sign, so we will have to wait and see if it does affect any of it.
I don't think it's going to affect your unofficial winner, number 6, Aunt Lily.
I think
Uncle Peter gets off the schneid as a sire, first win for...
Out of the Lucky Chucky mare, Chucky's Lucky Charm.
How lucky was Chucky?
Very lucky. And the stable.ca and Hutchison Harness, the winners. So they have made it official already, 6-4-8-7.
I think that's unofficial.
Oh, unofficial? I thought, okay.
Don't turn it off. Did you see the petting cube down?
Back to the Sugar Valley Farms Winner's Circle winner of the 8th race, the next generation 2-year-old filly trot, number 6, Aunt Lily, a 2-year-old daughter of Uncle Peter. Out of the Lucky Chucky mare, Chucky's Lucky Charm, owned by the stable and Hutchinson Harness, trained by Jason McGinnis. Anthony McDonald, the winning driver. She is now 2 for 2 and undefeated with the next generation win under her belt. A new lifetime mark tonight for Aunt Lily, 157-2.
There's a Conrad Daily double in the winner's circle.
Brad
brings his brother Jeff out for
the big races.
For the big races.
And an awful lot of people. In fact,
Brad's going to have to stand in the infield here in a minute.
In fact, we got people here from Canada came down. You said that. Yeah. So the
Quite a few folks.
Stein's still on, so
I'm sure they're looking at the first eighth of a mile. Anthony McDonald won this same event a couple years back with Swinging Senorita. was able to get some very soft fractions, 29 and 1 minute flat, and the 1 minute flat he was still open by 3 lengths. So last half in 57 and 2. See, I can do the math when it's an even minute. I'm quick.
Oh, yes, you are.
Here's your replay of the inquiry.
Yeah.
Two-year-old filly trotters.
Yeah. Ronnie Gillespie with Rose's Destiny Maid, and then tried to get to the outside and kind of cut through the 2 horses there. Take a look at that.
This is actually at the top of the stretch they're looking at here. We had a horse break and go into the inside.
Yeah, that was Armaggi.
This is after the 3/4
right?
pull, yep. Brett Miller on the outside didn't look like he interfered with anybody.
Travel Nurse.
Right here you see Chris Page sitting 4th and will eventually get up for 3rd.
Still looking at it all the way down the stretch.
I think earlier at Marion I heard one Matt Clark say he wasn't going to be a judge. I'm not going to be a judge. Can't take too long with inquiries because we've got another race here in a few minutes.
Well, no, I think we've got a 30-minute break between these two.
Okay.
I think is what it said. I think the next scheduled post time is.
We love network television coverage, but they're very strict on their off times.
8:38, and I think the next one goes at 9:07 is the official off time for that one. At least that's what's the
Do you have a song and
program
dance?
said. Well, we got a lot of stuff we can fill with. You never know. You never know who will get up here. So I'd say we did interview somebody from the stable, but they all would want to get in there, and we just don't have enough room for all of them up here.
And we have one microphone.
Now it's official. 6-4-8-7. Your winner is Aunt Lily. So let's go over to Barry.
Has been removed. No change in 6-4-8-7, which is now official.
I did a story on the stable's chances tonight, and halfway through the race, I looked at you and I said, I don't want the wolf jinx.
Well, I don't
I'm
think
safe for another day.
You're safe, and Anthony will be happy. In fact, you had said that he wasn't real happy with the draws that he had gotten, and in fact, he had mentioned that when we had him on the air at the Marion when they had made the draws. So let's go down for Anthony McDonald.
Generation 2 and a driver. Anthony, full field of 9 trotters going for big money on the line. How much of a game plan can you have going into a race like this, and how much did that change when the wings of the gate folded?
I got a lot of voices telling me to go forward when the wings fall, but, it just going to get away really well near the front. And then when Ronnie run, I knew that Chris would probably turn me and get a good trip. My filly, she showed she can go. She won her qualifier. She won her first race really easily, I think. And I thought she was a horse to beat in there. I knew we were kind of crawling over the quarter. We get over the quarter slow. There's no one coming. I'm just going to keep tapping the brakes. Chris won from off the pace in the first race because the pace was hot, and I figured if I took that, ability away from the horses well back in the field, then I should be a winner, and that's how it worked out.
If you go to the 2 lines, this is the first time that this filly's really been put on the front end. Did you have any hesitancy, and how did she feel once she got to the front end?
She's been on the front.
And then with that said, you've got 2 more coming up in this next generation. Kind of talk to us about the next 2 you've got coming up in these paces, and you've got a big crowd behind you cheering you on. I know that's got to never get old for you.
Yeah, it's the greatest part is seeing all the people that come out to the races and all the people that are online watching and the comments you get. I just said to Jason earlier, I'd really like to see a track like Scioto get behind their trainers and help them foster a program like this because, fractional ownership, I think it's great for the industry, but it's definitely great, especially for a place like this, to watch the races here. You're right down on the tarmac. It's a great feeling, and it's a great place to race at. So I would love to see a place like Scioto foster that, and you can see it. You guys are working here. The people coming in out of here all night that are telling you they're stable people. So it's a great feeling for me. It's good for the industry, and it's definitely great for the Aunt Lily group.
Last question. This was specifically asked for me to ask by Jason Roth. How's the food at Guy Fieri's?
No, it's fantastic. I didn't know you guys had one here. I was in a hurry to get out of here the other night to go home to Ontario, and I happened to Google restaurants nearby, and I didn't realize there was one right in the casino. Now, I can't go there tonight because I have my children with me, but I'll definitely frequent there throughout the summer.
And congratulations to behind Aunt Lily, winner of the Next Generation 157-2. Congratulations, Anthony McDonald, Jason Gillis, and the entire team behind the stable.
Thank you.
Eighth race is official, and Lily pays $4.80 to win. $1 exacta, $17.90.
The win, $340 for Aunt Lily. Mega Money, $780, $720. Rose Run Ellison, $760. So that sets the table for the next one. Anthony McDonald in the stable will try to go for another one with Rose Run Ajay coming out of the 9 hole when we return to Eldorado Scioto Downs right after this. Volstead, Coach K Hanover, Slay, Ohio's top trotters stand at Dublin Valley Farms. Volstead's offspring include Sugar Instead, the 2023 Ohio 2-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year, and 2024 Ohio Sire Stakes winner Jurassic Hattie. Coach K Hanover, the son of world record holder Walner, and Slay, the son of Chapter 7, standing his first season at Dublin Valley Farms.
Athletes, they come in all shapes and sizes. They catch, they leap, they run. Some athletes even come with 4 legs and paws and hooves. When these beloved family members need care, remember the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Ohio State experts wrote the book on exceptional animal care and know how to get our best friends back on their feet. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center.
The Delaware County Fair, where history meets horsepower. Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime as the world-famous Little Brown Jug takes center stage. Witness the heart-pounding action, the thundering hooves, and the sheer determination of these incredible athletes compete for the coveted Little Brown Jug title. Don't miss your chance to be a part of history. For ticket and hospitality options, visit littlebrownjug.com. The Little Brown Jug, where champions are made and legends are born. Be there!
Welcome back to Eldorado Scioto Downs, as 2 are in the books, and your winner of the last one, the Next Generation for the 2-year-old filly trot, Aunt Lily, the stable.ca with the win, trotting in 157-2.
I mean, Anthony McDonald, I don't know if we give him enough credit. I mean, he's been a good supporter of not only the OHHA, the state of Ohio. He's been great for the Ohio United States Harness Riders chapter here in town. But I think the thing we forget about is he's giving people an opportunity to stand in the winner's circle for a $150,000 race for a minor investment. And like their commercial says, they own, but they get 100% of the fun.
Yeah.
The people here in this room that were a part of the stable, they're smiling from ear to ear, and it doesn't matter if they own 1% or 99%.
And I think the other thing, too, is when they come to events like this and they have a little dinner up here, they're up here with them. They're rubbing elbows with all the big owners, the Chris Brecklers, the Mark Weavers, guys like that own a lot of horses. So that's what they're doing with that. So they're able to, rub elbows and just enjoy everything that's going on with that.
When I was interviewing Anthony for my story, he says, this is one we really wanted. And he goes, that's why I was willing to pay $65,000. So $65,000 yearling purchase, now has a pair of wins. So obviously good things are expected for Aunt Lily here in the future.
So next up, we will have the 2-year-old Colt Pace. And if you take a look at the 2-year-old Colt Pace, the history of the 2-year-old Colt Pace, you got to go back to the very first one.
A horse by the name of
Charlie May. Kind of kicked this thing off, and and Charlie just has had a great career since that. In 2021, it was Slingshot, the winner, Down by the Seaside, and Down by the Seaside have kind of owned it since Charlie May won that first one. Act Fast, another down by the Seaside, won it in 2022. And then last year in 2023, it was Midwind Beach Boy winning it. Burke Racing Stables have won 2 in a row, and they will be looking for their 3rd in a row, and they're going to have to do it from the outside with Swingtown. Another one owned by Hatfield Stables and Knox Services.
As we mentioned earlier, post 1, 2, and 6, we're winless, but now we can take number 6 off because Aunt Lily left in post 6. So now it's just the dreaded rail position. How many times have you heard people say, I have the dreaded rail position?
Well, in this race, too, we also have a horse that was purchased after they appeared on Freshman Focus. D-Dragon was in the Jeff Nysonger barn, and after we did our Freshman Focus, not that it led to the sale of the horse.
Did you get a percentage?
No, I did not. But was purchased by Odds On Racing, and earlier today, Matt Clark was down at Winter Circle Training Center and had a chance to catch up with Virgil Morgan Jr., the trainer of D-Dragon.
So D-Dragon, we purchased him a 3 weeks ago, and he's been a really nice acquisition for Odds On Racing and Dana Parham. I can't say enough about him. Trained really good. Jeff Nysonger, who we bought him off of, said he was a really, really nice, smart colt, and that's all been true. The first race was. The fractions were really kind early, but the last quarter was kind of eye-popping. To come home in 27 flat effortlessly the way he did with the earplugs in was very impressive. Tactically, he's got the 2-hole, so again, hopefully we're going to use that position to our advantage and push off there a little bit, and then let Luke take it from there.
Welcome back to Eldorado Scioto Downs, and that was Virgil Morgan, who will have in this Dragon will be in this next coming race, joined now by the Director of Racing here at Eldorado Scioto Downs, Jason Roth, and nearly $1.2 million purse. A huge night tonight for you guys.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do in the state of Ohio, is put on big nights, and the crowd has showed up, the weather has cooperated, and it's turned out to be a great night.
You couldn't ask for more, and you've had great races so far. You kicked it off with a $100,000 Ohio Sire Stakes 1 of 3. You've got the 4 Next Generations, and then later on you've got the Nadia Lobell and the Moneymaker that you brought here to Eldorado Scioto Downs.
Yeah, we're excited to have those races. Obviously, we like to have them a little bit fuller, but there's still good horses in there. They're great races. They're going to be competitive, and we'll see a showdown here in a little bit.
But full fields for the Next Generations, so the fans have to love that, as does the betting public.
Yeah, the Next Generations turned out great. We got a couple scratches due to sickness, but other than that, these 2-year-olds are so far have performed on the racetrack.
Here at Scioto Downs last year, the new grandstand. Coming up next year, you're going to have the new paddock that you guys, the Caesars just continues to put forth, to make racing good here.
Yeah, you see all the owners on the track and in this room, and they're very excited for the future. Talking about how beautiful the grandstand is and how accommodating everything is, and we'll work on making the horsemen feel accommodated too with your paddock.
Well, and besides having the races tonight, we also had a match race for charity, and Gabe Pruitt, people were asking how it turned out. Gabe Pruitt turned down the Jets down the stretch and was able to come away with the win.
He did. And I'm telling you, Pete is not happy right now. He did not like Gabe showboating like he did, and he's not happy. Those guys were very competitive. They were both out to win, and just happened Gabe won tonight, and we'll see what the third round brings us.
But the bottom line is it was for charity for New Vocations.
Absolutely. New Vocations is a great organization. They support both standardbreds and thoroughbreds, and it's definitely money worth spending to support our racehorse aftercare.
Well, thanks for stopping by. Get back to it. We're going to tell the people about our 9th race as the horses are getting ready to come on out and for the 9th. And so I want to thank Jason for stopping up. Let's go to the post parade.
Horses leaving the paddock headed to the track for the 9th race. The Next Generation 2-year-old colt gelding pace. Scratch the 5. I'm on fire is out sick. The purse is $150,000. Race 9 features super high 5 wagering. Here's the field. Number 1 is Riding the Waves, son of Down by the Seaside, owned by Dark Horse Farm, trained by Matt Burkholder, Chris Limbs. Number 2, Day Dragon, is owned by Odds On Racing. Virgil Morgan Jr. trains the son of Fear the Dragon. Luke Hanners in the bike. Number 3, Down by the Parade, owned and trained by Betty Clegg, son of Down by the Seaside, is driven by Aaron Merriman. 4 is Mr. McDragon, son of Fear the Dragon, owned by Jeff Odd Racing, Adam Friedland, Hunter, and Ryan Holton. Steve Carter trains, Brett Miller drives. 5 is Scratch. Number 6 is Sky Dog by Well Said, owned by Wall Brothers Stable and Dennis Owens. Steve Owens trains, Dan Noble drives. Number 7 is Johnny Up. Alan Miller owns and trains the gelded son of Lather Up. Ronnie Wren Jr. has the lines. Number 8 is Swingtown, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Hatfield Stables, Knox Services, and Raz Racing. Ron Burke trains the son of Down by the Seaside. Chris Page drives. And completing the field will be number 9, Rose Rana J, owned by the stable. Trained by Jason McGinnis, the son of Dancing Yankee, is driven by Anthony McDonald. That's a field for the 9th Win Play Show.
So there's your field for the Next Generation, the 2-year-old colt pace. 8 will go to the gate. The scratch was I'm on fire out of the Greg Luther stable. Horse was sick, so was scratched today. So we'll tell you all about these horses in this. The 8 that will be racing. The number 1 is Riding the Waves. Chris Lem will drive for Matthew Burkholder. This is a Down by the Seaside out of the Jeremy's Jet Mare. Take a Ride with Me, owned by Dark Horse Farms of Vienna, Ohio. This was an $85,000 purchase at the Ohio Select Sale. 1 start this year that came at the Meadows. Finished 2nd, pacing in 155 and 4.
This is Dark Horse Farms' 2nd Next Generation starter.
The number 2 is our favorite at even money, Day Dragon. Luke Hanners drives for Virgil Morgan Jr. 1 start, 1 win. It was a 10-length victory here at Scioto Downs in 154 and 4. This is a Fear the Dragon out of D. Valeria. Odds On Racing of Boca Raton, Florida, owns D Dragon. That was originally a $15,000 purchase at the Ohio Select Sale.
As you mentioned earlier, it was purchased privately after the freshman focus. Sire, Fear the Dragon, is 0 for 12 in the Next Generation.
The number 3 is Down by the Parade. Aaron Merriman drives for Betty Clegg. This is a Down by the Seaside out of the Royal Majesty Mare Gracie's Parade. Betty Clegg owns 3 starts, 3 wins. All 3 wins at the fairs, Paulding, Circleville, and Marion.
This is the Clegg 2nd starter. Last year they had a horse by the name of Janelle Granny finish 2nd. This horse has 3 starts. The rest of the field, 3 starts.
Number 4 is Mr. McDragon. Brett Miller drives for Steve Carter. This is a Fear the Dragon out of McPansy. Jeff Fout Racing, A. Friedland, H. Holton, and R. Holton are the owners, making its first career start, a $40,000 purchase at the Ohio Select Sale. 3 qualifiers has won the last one. 2 qualifiers won the last one.
Trainer Steve Carter and Brett Miller came into this year as 6th, both on the earning list.
Scratch the number 5, I'm Fire. The number 6 is Sky Dog. Dan Noble drives for Steve Owens. This is a Well Said out of the Blissful Hall Mare Ashland Blue. Wall Brothers Stables and Dennis Owens own Sky Dog, and Wall Brothers Stables are the breeders, making its first career start. A couple of qualifiers at the Meadows, finishing 3rd and 4th, but in the last one paced in 156 and 1.
Announcer Barry Vickroy has a tradition. He plays a song after every win. Sky Dog was the nickname of Dwayne Allman back from the Allman Brothers in the 1970s.
We'll see if he has that queued up. The number 7 is Johnny Up. Ronnie Wren Jr. drives for Alan Miller, who owns Johnny Up. He's also the breeder, making its first career start. Has a couple of qualifiers. Was supposed to start at Northfield back on June 29th, but scratched sick.
Like you said, came back from the scratch sick, could have had a good second place finish in 55-3 at the Meadows. This is Alan Miller's first next-gen starter.
The number 8 is Swingtown. Chris Page drives for Ron Burke. Burke Racing Stable, Hatfield Stable, Knox Services, and RAS Racing are the owners. This is down by the seaside out of Swinging Beauty, making its first career start. This was a $160,000 purchase at the Ohio Select sale. Couple of qualifiers, won its last one in 154-2, and right now 7-5.
The owners, Burke, Hatfield, Knox Services, and RAS, looking to go back-to-back. They had the 2-year-old filly winner in the first race and look to win the colt division in this race.
And the number 9 is Rose Run J. Anthony McDonald drives for Jason McGinnis. This is owned by the stable.ca. Dancing Yankee is the sire out of the Art Major Mare Wall of Art. Finished second in its first start. That was at the Meadows back on June 28th. Couple of qualifiers. Did win one of those qualifiers in 11 by 11.5 lengths. Paced in 156-3 in that second place finish.
Sire Dancing Yankee's second crop, fourth starter in the next generation.
So there's your field. 8 will go behind the gate. Scratch the number 5. I'm on fire.
I'm a little disappointed you're not singing it like Bruce Springsteen would be.
Well, you don't want to hear that, you know. We do have people on there, and
we would hate to get kicked off the air by YouTube. Too.
Yeah, exactly. So no, you don't have to worry about that going on. But
stakes record is 152 by Act Fast. The largest winning margin was 3.5 lengths by Slingshot, and the favorites have 1 for 4 in this division.
As you said, the favorites do not fare very well, and right now the favorite sitting there at 4-5 is D Dragon. Virgil Morgan owns for Odds On Racing. Purchased this horse out of the Jeff Nysonger barn.
What's not to like? One win in 54-4, that win by 10 lengths.
Well, and then you also take a look at the 2 qualifiers. Both qualifiers were under 2 minutes, and they were winning efforts as well.
Transferred from the Jeff Nysonger barn. Luke Hanner's making his second start here in the next generation.
3 are making their first career starts. Mr. McDragon, Skydog, and Johnny Up making their first career starts. Most of these 2-year-olds do have 2 qualifiers in them. Some have 3.
Some have 3 fair starts.
Some have 3 fair starts down by the parade out of the Clegg barn.
How impressive was that opening mile at Paulding? 2 minutes and 4/5 on a county fair track. Now we know county fair tracks are good surfaces, but they're no side or down. So, with a 2 minute, basically a 2:01 mile as a first start on a county fair, winning by open lengths is quite impressive for the Nick Clegg barn.
Down by the parade currently at 24-1. And this horse raced 3 days ago at Marion, the Marion County Fair. The wins have come at Paulding, Circleville, and at Marion. So they are getting ready, the starting gate getting into position, and we will be set to go with the 2-year-old Colt Pace, the third of the 4 next generation races. So let's send it up to Barry Vickroy.
No call for Super High Five wagering. It's post time. For the next generation, 2-year-old Colton Gelding Pace from the rail out, riding the waves. Day Dragon down by the parade. Mr. McDragon, Sky Dog, Johnny Up, Swingtown, and on the outside, Rose Run J. A field of 8 for the Super High Five, 9th from Cider Downs Gate. Swings into the back stretch, and here they go. They're off. The Dragon and Down by the Parade will go for the lead. Riding the Waves, a good start to the inside. Up on the outside is Swingtown. Away fifth, Mr. McDragon as they bank into the turn. Rose Runner J is next on the outside. Sky Dog at the rail is away in seventh, and eighth and last. Johnny up the early trailer. The Dragon made the early lead. Swingtown continuing to march up on the outside for Page. Will take over. Down by the Parade is kicked back to third. Racing fourth. Riding the Waves as they make their way past the quarter. In 28 and 2, the Dragon is up and on the outside and looking to retake from Swingtown. Down by the Parade third. Riding the Waves is next, followed by Mr. McDragon, who races in fifth. 6 as 8 passes stands the first time. Rose Runner J. Then it is a length to Sky Dog, and the trailer is Johnny up. They'll circle the clubhouse turn. Onto the half they go. To Dragon on the retake has got the lead and shows the way. Swingtown is there racing in second. Down by the Parade is third. Riding the Wave stays to the inside. Out and moving outside, Mr. McDragon first up, out to follow cover Rose Runner J. The hat 57 and 4, 29-2 second panel, still working to close the gap. Sky Dog in the trailer, Johnny up down the back stretch. It's Day Dragon with the lead. Has it by a length and a half, tightening in Swingtown in the pocket. First over grind for Mr. McDragon. He'll move up now second. Good life toe for Rose Runner J on the outside. Fifth at the railers down by the Parade. 6 is Riding the Waves. They're by 3/4, 125 and 3, 27 and 4 backside. Back of the pack, Johnny up has jumped it off as they come to the top of the stretch. Luke Hanners gets the plugs out on Day Dragon. Swingtown pops the pocket as they come to the top of the stretch. It's Day Dragon. Swingtown on the outside under a very confident hand drive, goes right by, and he will draw clear to win the Next Generation 2-year-old colt gelding pace. Up second, Down by the Parade from Day Dragon, and Riding the Waves, 153.
Chris Page and Ron Burke do it again, and Chris Page wanted to lead, but then it was D-Dragon said, no, I'm going to take it over, and Chris said, okay, go, and just sat back, and then when he wanted it, he just asked Swingtown to go, and Swingtown went, came charging down the lane to win.
56 and 4 last half. Yeah, you know, there was a little give and go there in the first quarter, and I'm not sure if Luke Hanners just wouldn't, you know, I mean, these are 2-year-olds making their first starts. So, or this one was making her second start. So you're not even sure, does he even like to be on a helmet led gate for wire last time out? You know, maybe he felt a little uncomfortable sitting in the pocket with this one, but came back out. I mean, they went to the half at 57 and 4, so really wasn't a taxing effort. But like you said, Swingtown came off the cover, or came out of the pocket and drew off.
And how about getting up for second, Down by the Parade out of the Clegg barn? Finishes second, came on strong there. Looked like it was going to fade down, heading up the back stretch, but Aaron Merriman able to find some racing room and gets Down by the Parade up for second.
I'm going to go out on a limb. If this race was at the Marion County Fair,
it wins.
It wins.
But Down by the Parade finished second, and I think it was D-Dragon finishing third unofficially. We'll have to wait for the official.
Opening quarter was 28 and 2, half 57 and 4, 3/4 125 and 3. Came home and won 53 flat, a second off the stakes record, but I'm sure they're not really concerned.
Which, you know, you take a look, the Philly Pace went in 26 and 2 that opening quarter. They went out blazing.
8-3-2-1-4. Super high-five numbers unofficial 8-3-2-1-4.
8-3-2-1-4.
So your unofficial winner, Swingtown and Chris Page. Number 3, Down by the Parade, and Aaron Merriman finished second. Number 2, D-Dragon and Luke Hanners unofficially third. Number 1, Riding the Waves fourth, and rounding out the high five, Mr. McDragon, number 4.
Down by the seaside, out of the yard, Major Mare Swinging Beauty. Over Burke Racing Stable, Hatfield Stables, Knox Services and Rounds Racing. Ron Burke, the winning trainer. Chris Page, the winning driver. First career start, first career win, a new lifetime mark for Swingtown. Another Next Generation win for Chris Page and Ron Burke, 153.
Three straight now for Burke Racing Stable and Ron Burke and Chris Page in the 2-year-old colt pace. So they continue their domination of this division. And with that, Down by the Seaside has sired the past 4 winners.
If you're keeping track at home, Chris Page is just under, and Ron Burke for that matter, just under $750,000 in 15 events here.
So, turned on the Jets, came home the winner.
Well, are we going to predict what Barry Vickroy is going to play?
Well,
Steve
we'll
Miller
see.
Band?
I think you might be right with Steve Miller Band in Swingtown right after this. So it is official. We'll wait for the official rundown from Barry Vickroy. As Swingtown, the Down by the Seaside colt out of the Art Major mare Swinging Beauty, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Hatfield Stable, Knox Services, and RAS Racing, wins its first race in 1:53. Second was Down by the Parade out of the Betty Clegg barn. Aaron Merriman drove, so now has hit the board in all 4 starts with 3 wins and a second. And rounding out the top 3, D Dragon, the Virgil Morgan trainee with Luke Hanners in the bite.
So we're going to go ahead and start handicapping the 2025 2-year-old colt Pace. Betty Clegg, second last year, second this year.
One of the top 2 next year. You wait, so we'll wait and see. Wait for the rundown and see if they're going to have an interview in the winner's circle. I know they were having some microphone problems with Anthony McDonald, so we'll have to see if they have that corrected for this.
We're up, as you mentioned, we're in the 3 Diamonds room here at Scioto Downs, and we have TVs around us, and they just raced the elimination for the Meadowlands Pace for next year's $700,000 final, and the McDonalds are having a good night all over the United States as James McDonald, Anthony's brother, wins with legendary Hanover.
So let's go down to
the owner here of Swingtown, Chris Breckler. Just a very impressive mile there. You had to see that you were getting a nice trip, but still you got $150,000 on the line. How are the nerves feeling when you're going into the last turn with the perfect pocket trip?
You know, you have a nice horse and you got a great chance, and you know, you never know what can happen. But Chris did a great job. You know, obviously Ronnie does a job of getting them ready for these big races, and you know, the whole team, Burke Brigade, they're just wonderful to be with.
And then going back to last fall, going back to the Ohio Select Yearling Sale, $160,000 yearling for good reason. He's got a great pedigree, a pedigree that stands out in the state of Ohio. She's thrown a Little Brown Jug winner, but then he certainly looks the part as well. Were you pretty excited about this one early?
Yeah, we were. Dr. J and the Burke Brigade, as I said earlier, they did a great job looking at all the yearlings and finding the ones, and you know, he looked the part, and on paper especially he looked the part, and we're just very happy we got him.
And then kind of talk to me about the spring for Swingtown. What kind of reports are you getting as the spring goes along? How high are you getting your hopes now as we approach him making his career debut in a $150,000 race?
Oh, you know, when they're training down and then you watch them qualify, you always think that you got to do them, but you never know until they actually do it.
Well, and you certainly look like you got a good one there. Swingtown, a very impressive winner, 153 flat, and the $150,000 next generation 2-year-old colt Pace.
$5 to win, the $1 exact to $20.30, 50-cent try, $26.50, and the Super High Five returns $301.
Now we're joined by Todd Warner, way down the rundown there. One of the fractional owners with the stable, and Aunt Lily comes home a winner. Must have been just great to be in that winner's circle, especially in a big race like this.
Yeah, it was really exciting. We came here last year with a horse born to dance. Didn't have the same outcome, but we had a really good time tonight. And we had big expectations, but you never know. But she brought it home for us. So pretty exciting.
And this is one of 3 that you have with the stable.
Right. We have Aunt Lily, Rose Run AJ, who just raced in race number 9, and then Born to Dance, who is a 3-year-old.
What made you get into the fractional ownership?
Well, a couple of things. Retirement was one, and then the other was just a way to kind of dip your toe into the water without getting too big of a financial commitment. We heard good things. We actually had fractional ownership with a local Cedar Point Beach Racing also, and then we started going with the stable on a few horses, and we really like both of them. So,
What would you tell somebody who's thinking about jumping in?
I would say do it. You know, if you have any kind of love for horse racing like we do, it is a great way just to kind of sample the waters and like I said, not have that big of a financial commitment. And Anthony does a great job of updating all the owners almost daily on videos, and then a weekly video as well. So it's a good way to stay informed and to learn about horse racing too.
How long is that smile going to stay on your face?
Oh boy, at least a couple of months, I think. No more training fees for a couple of months.
Well, one of the happy owners from the stable. And with that, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll set up the next race here at Eldorado Scioto Downs.
The future is bright in Ohio. Ohio Sire Stakes, Buckeye Stallion Series, 66 county and independent fairs. Whether it's the Ohio Sire Stakes, the Buckeye Stallion Series, or the county fairs, Ohio has a place for your racehorse. This year, Ohio breds are racing for nearly $23 million in stakes purses. Be part of the winning. Breed, buy, race, win in Ohio.
For over 50 years, Midland Acres has provided top-quality Ohio-bred colts and fillies. As a third-generation farm, we understand the importance of delivering well-cared-for and well-mannered yearlings. Get in the winner's circle with the yearlings by Fear the Dragon, Yankee Cruiser, Long Tom, Summa Cum Laude, Ready for Moni, and Bit of a Legend. See our yearlings at the Blooded Horse Sale August 27th and the Ohio Select Sale September 15th.
Could you make Jason another spread?
Of course. Welcome back to Eldorado Scioto Downs as we get set for the 10th race on the card, the final of the Next Generations. This is the 2-year-old colt trot, and this one, 5 of them are going to be making their first start, Jay. And like we saw with the first one, there was a lot of breaks in that race, and sometimes it's just keeping your trotter well-mannered.
Stay flat and get a check is a goal for a lot of these. You mentioned Pink Panther 4 starts, more than the entire field combined. So
you take a look at some of the trainers in this race. You've got Jason McGinnis with the stable. You got Burke. You got Todd Luther. You got Chris Beaver. And then you got a couple of smaller trainers, and one of them is Kim Daly, who's got CS Tom K in this race. And, you know, Kim, one of those trainers who doesn't have that big of a stable, but, is out there grinding all the time. And today she's got a horse that they weren't sure they were going to put in, but decided to put in. And I had a chance to talk to Kim earlier today on the backstretch. Catching up with Kim Daly before tonight's Next Generation. And Kim, this is something new for you, a big step up.
Yeah, very new.
What made you have the decision to enter this horse?
The colt's been nice all winter. He just been amazing. I just hope he can keep his head on his shoulders.
Well, we saw him in that one matinee that he really likes to go.
Yeah, he really does. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed.
Is this one of the best 2-year-olds you've ever had, you think?
Yes, me. I don't know about Bill, my late husband, but me, yes. So.
What's it going to take for you to win here tonight?
A lot of hope and prayers and good luck, a lot of luck. They're probably going to go. They're going to go fast, I think. So.
But he can go fast.
Yeah, I believe in him. I just hope he just keeps his head on his shoulders.
Good luck.
I got faith in my driver, too. So.
There you
Danny
go.
Noble.
Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
On the other end of the spectrum, you've got Todd Luther training for his brother Greg Luther and Greg Luther Racing. They're still looking for that first win in the Next Generation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Greg's put a lot of money into the state of Ohio and buys a lot of yearlings, and now starting to breed with the Catch the Fire. He owns the stallion Catch the Fire. So, I mean, that's a pacer, but this is a trotter. But, yeah, you said they're still looking for their first win. I'm sure there'll be a big celebration when that happens.
Rose Run Airy, $150,000 purchase at the Ohio Select Sale. And earlier today, Matt Clark caught up with Greg Luther down at Winter Circle Training Center.
Yeah, so Rose Run Ari is a full brother to Rose Run Yolanda. And we're really excited about him. He actually trained down better than she did, so I think he's got a good shot today. As long as he behaves, you never know with the 2-year-old trotters. But I think both those things have a really good shot tonight.
So you've got both ends of the spectrum. You have the big money in the Luther stable where they paid $150,000, and then on the other end you've got Kim Daly and CS Tom K, a purchase of $21,000.
So Rose Run Airy, you mentioned the price tag of $150,000. This one is a full sister to Rose Run Yolanda. It's made $750,000 for Greg Luther, so he's very familiar with the family.
Making its career start, 5 of them in this race will be making their first career starts. So as we get close to post time for this, the next generation, the 2-year-old colts, still on our card. After this, we will have, next up will be the $100,000 moneymaker for 3-year-old filly trotters. Then we've got a great Ohio Sire Stakes, the second division for 3-year-old colt pacers, and we'll have the showdown between Clever Cody, Janelle Granny, and Rose Run Zane, and that's going to be a great race to watch too. And then we'll also have the Nadia Lobell, the $100,000 for the 3-year-old filly pacers. In those 2 races, the moneymaker and the Nadia Lobell, are races that were held elsewhere before coming here to Eldorado Scioto Downs.
It's great to have the Grand Circuit back here at Scioto Downs, and like you said, that they believe they were raced at the Red Mile last year. I know they've been raced at Hoosier Park, which is a sister facility to Scioto Downs. So it's great that there's going to be some Grand Circuit races during the summer at the end of the year with the Jim Ewart and all those. Those are Grand Circuit races, but later on. But one important, I don't know if you've talked about it on the air, but there is one important scratch in race 13, the Nadia Lobell Geocentric from the Brian Brown has been drawn due to illness. So a big hole there in that race.
Rough day for Brian Brown when you think about it. You have Guard the Fire in the $150,000. You got Geocentric in a $100,000 race. The only 2 horses he has entered both come down sick. He must be just sick to his stomach after having to scratch both of them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, earlier you showed the interview with Rosie Weaver and the issues she's going through. That's why it's just, this sport could be so gut-wrenching at times. These people put their soul and their heart and blood into this, and then something as simple as feeding their horses can turn into a sickness, and then it escalates.
Another one too, I'm on fire.
Yep.
Another one that for the Luther stable ended up having to be scratched today because it was sick as well.
So horses are coming out of the paddock, so we'll send it up to Barry Vickroy for the post parade.
Horses leaving the paddock headed to the track for the 10th race, $150,000. The next generation 2-year-old colt gelding trot. Change of driver of number 5, Country Cowboy. Trevor Smith will drive. Race 10 will kick off the late pick 5. Here's the field. Number 1 is What's Shaken. Son of What the Hill is owned by W.J. Donovan, trained and driven by Ronnie Gillespie. Number 2 is Pink Panther by Marseille, owned and trained by Betty Clegg with Kane Kaufman. Number 3 is CS Tom K. Son of Long Tom is owned by trainer Kim Daly, Randy Leopard, and Melissa Dinkeldine with Dan Noble. Number 4, Caddo, owned by the stable in Hutchison Harness, trained by Jason McGinnis with Anthony McDonald. Five is Country Cowboy, a son of What the Hill, owned and trained by Melvin Schmucker, changed the driver to Trevor Smith. 6 is Memory Vault by Uncle Peter. He's owned by Burke Racing Stable, Weaver Buscemi, Hatfield Stables, and Rouse Racing, trained by Ron Burke with Chris Page. 7 is Rose Run Ari by Triumphant Caviar. He is owned by Greg Luther Racing, trained by Todd Luther with Brett Miller. 8 is Flying Tom by Long Tom, owned by David Wills, Richard Code, trainer Ty Loy, and Douglas Gregory with Ronnie Wren Jr. And completing the field, number 9, Caviar Creek. Son of Triumphant Caviar is owned by trainer Chris Beaver, Steve Z. Handler, Leo Fleming, and Mark Schwartz. Aaron Merriman is in the sulky.
So there you have the field for the 2-year-old colt trot. Let's run it down one more time for you. The number 1 is What's Shaking, currently 5-2 on the board. This is the Ronnie Gillespie trainee. He will also drive. It's a What the Hill gelding out of the Conway Hall mare Broadway Sister, owned by W.J. Donovan. This colt is making, or gelding, pardon me, is making his first career start. Finished second in a qualifier at Scioto Downs, trotting in 157-1. Was a $17,000 purchase of the Ohio Select sale.
Sire, What the Hill has won 4 next generation events.
The number 2 is Pink Panther out of the by Marseille, out of Call Me Pinkalicious by Donato Hanover. Betty Clegg trains and owns. 4 starts on the year, 4 wins. The wins came at Paulding, Circleville, Ottawa, and Marion. If you want to call this a fair horse, you can, but its stablemate did really well in the last one, finishing second.
The Sire Marseille, first-year crop here in the state of Ohio. It stands at Sugar Valley Farms in Delaware.
The number 3 at 7-2 on the board is CS Tom K. Dan Noble drives for Kim Daly. This is a long time out of the Sebastian K.S. mare, 51K. Kim Daly, Randy Leopard, and M. Dingledine of Mechanicsburg are the owners, making its first career start. This horse was impressive at the Urbana Matinee.
Kim Daly, as you mentioned, first-time starter here in the next generation.
The number 4 is Cadeau. Anthony McDonald drives. Jason McGinnis is the trainer for the stable, also owned by Hutchison Harness. This, another Marseille out of the Chapter 7 mare, Mama's Gift. 1 start this year. Finished third over at the Meadows, trotting in 2:02, and was a $21,000 purchase.
One of the things I noticed when I was looking at Godot's start, he actually went into the passing lane, which the first-time starter, when you turn him to go left, usually it's around a turn not to pass somebody.
The number 5 is Country Cowboy. Trevor Smith gets the drive for Melvin Schumacher, who is also the owner. This horse making its first career start. The gelding by What the Hill is out of the mare Cowgirl Hall in its first qualifier at Delaware. They did not have a time, but the second one, 2:02-3.
This is the first start for the trainer and owner.
Number 6 is Memory Vault. Chris Page and Ron Burke will try to go for their 3rd next generation win today. This Uncle Peter gelding out of the Yankee Glide mare Thankful Reward is owned by Burke Racing Stable, Weber Buscemi, Hatfield Stables, and RAS Racing. Was a winner last time out at the Meadows in 159-4.
Knox Services is not listed as owner, but I'll guarantee you he'll be rooting this one
Yes,
on
he
just as strong.
The number 7 is Rose Run Ari. Brett Miller drives for Todd Luther, owned by Greg Luther Racing. This is a Triumphant Caviar out of Rose Run Keepsake, making its first career start. A couple of qualifiers under its belt. Won the first one by 2 1/4 lengths in 2:02. Came back, finished second, about a length and a quarter back in 159-3. A $150,000 purchase. And this horse was featured in Freshman Focus.
Obviously, with the $150,000 price tag, high expectations for this full sister to Rose Run Yolanda.
And that's what pushed up the value of this horse, is what Rose Run Yolanda, his sister, has done.
Rose Run Yolanda helped pay for this one.
The number 8 is Flying Tom. Ronnie Rand Jr. drives for Ty Loy. This is a long tom out of the full count mare Lee's Little Sis, owned by Wills, Code, Loy, and Gregory. 1 start, finished second. That came at the Meadows, trotting in 159.
This ownership and training group actually had campaigned Beautiful Lather last year in the 2-year-old filly pace.
And the number 9 is Caviar Creek. Aaron Merriman drives for Chris Beaver, a duo we have seen together so many times. This is a Triumphant Caviar out of the Man of Many Missions mare Boxcars, owned by Beaver, Steve Z. Handler, L. Fleming, and M. Schwartz. First career start, has won both of its qualifiers this year.
Chris Beaver campaigned the sire Triumphant Caviar, but surprisingly, Triumphant Caviar has never thrown a next-gen winner. One of the things I'd like to just talk about real quick is you look down at the breeders and Rose Run Farms and Steiner Farms, some of the legendary ones here in the state of Ohio, but you also see Crawford Farms from New York and Kentuckiana Farms from Kentucky. So obviously the word is getting out that it pays to breed, race, and win here in the state of Ohio.
Breed, buy, race, and win. You forgot one.
I know, I forgot one.
Oh.
You think the marketing guy would have got that right?
As we get set for the next generation 2-year-old colt trot. Favorite right now, the number 1, What's Shaking with Ron Gillespie. And just as I say that, it changes to number 7, Rose Run Ari. And Ronnie Gillespie's going to be looking for a lot better luck than he had in that first race.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be a little bit gun-shy leaving the gate this time. Broken the 2-year-old filly trot. Does not want a repeat performance for that here in the 2-year-old colt trot.
And you take a look at that, we had 4 of the trotters, the young filly trotters, went off stride in that race. And sometimes it's better just to have better manners and stay flat than to go with a lot of speed.
On your screen is number 6, Memory Vault, 2-year-old gelding by the Burke Stable. This one has a sub 2-minute win already in 59-4 in the pop-up series at the Meadows.
Best mark, but you take a look, CS Tom K and Pink Panther both with qualifying wins under 2 minutes. 159-1 for Pink Panther, 159-3 for CS Tom K. Catch the fire clock winding down to the start.
We saw quite a few members of the CS Tom K group tonight,
They
and
were
every
up here,
one
yep.
of them says, I'm nervous. And I'm like, there's nothing more you can do at this point,
No,
right?
that's exactly it. We were talking to Randy Leppert, the former vice president of the OHHA, one of the co-owners of this horse. And, he said he's been nervous, and his wife said, yep, I've noticed a few things going on. So, and for an owner like that, this is the one chance that this may be the horse of a lifetime that you're waiting to get. If you get in this business, you're always looking for that one horse, which is going to be the one that's going to get you to where you want to go.
For a lot of owners of 2-year-olds, you're getting these training reports all winter, and now this is where the rubber really meets the road. So I'm sure there's a lot of butterflies. The starting gate is rolling, and we'll send it up to Barry Vickroy with the call for the 10th.
The next generation 2-year-old colt and gelding trotters from the rail out. What's Shaken? Pink Panther, CS Tom K, Caddo, Country Cowboy, Memory Vault, Rose Run Ari, Flying Tom, and on the outside, Caviar Creek, Field of 9 for the 10th from Saddle Downs. Start of the late pick 5, and here they go. They're off. Pink Panther gets the first call. CS Tom K timed the gate, and they'll duel for the early lead. Off stride was Country Cowboy. Moving up 3 wide into the turn, Rose Run Ari. Clearing off to the rail is Caddo to the inside. What's Shaken as they continue to battle up top. Racing away 6, Flying Tom, followed by Memory Vault. Then it is Caviar Creek, far back off stride, Cowboy Country. And the early speed duel taken by CS Tom K. He'll put the quarter on the board, 27-1. Pink Panther is there now in second. Rose Run Ari is about 4 back third, but he's working to close the gap. It's another 3 to Caddo, followed by What's Shaken and Ronnie Gillespie. Flying Tom next in line is a length clear of Memory Vault, followed by Caviar Creek and far back Country Cowboy, the early trailer. Their single file as they roll in and around the clubhouse turn, and CS Tom K shows away at 8-1. Pink Panther is the pocket sitter. Rose Run Ari is right there in third. It's still 3 back as they make their way onto the backstretch to Caddo, the half, 57 seconds. Nice breather, rated 29-4 in the second split as they start down the backstretch. Pink Panther pops to the pocket and goes right by CS Tom K. Also on the move is Rose Run Ari, moving up What's Shaken. He's now fourth and going right on for Ronnie Gillespie, vacating the pylons. Caddo. Next is Flying Tom. Then it is Memory Vault. Caviar Creek and Far Back Country Cowboy. They trot by 3/4, 126-1, 29-1 backside, and taking over the lead. Rose Run Ari, What's Shaking, Ronnie Gillespie. They're closing sharply on the outside. Pink Panther is now third, now fourth. Cadu outside fifth. Line Tom, they're off the turn on their way home. Rose Run Ari inside. What's Shaking, coming on and coming at him. Inside Rose Run Ari digs in. What's Shaking on the outside. Ronnie Gillespie and What's Shaking in the Next Generation. 155-4. That's a stakes record.
Stakes record, and the Ronnie Gillespie fan club is beelining it out of here as they are heading down.
Well, that race was not for the faint of heart. They were playing hardball in the first quarter, and they were big stretch driving between two coming down the lane here.
And it came down to Rose Run Ari and What's Shaking, and What's Shaking able to shake it down the stretch and get the win.
Right here, I was pretty confident. I thought Brett Miller could hang on.
And it looked like he did, and then all of a sudden, Ronnie Gillespie asked for a little more, and here came What's Shaking by and ends up winning it by a length.
I think we have a new competitor in the Biggest Smile contest between Ronnie Gillespie and Anthony McDonald.
Exactly. And that at 155-4 breaks the mark of 156-2 that was set last year by, you need a few more A's, Spazzano.
I write it phonetically, so.
You need 4 more, so.
When you type it every time, you have to make sure you add them up and make sure you have the right number
Exactly,
of A's.
yeah, that's what you do. Or you just put it into your spell check and make sure it comes out okay.
1769, posted unofficial.
1769 unofficial. What's Shaking? Ronnie Gillespie trains this one for W.J. Donovan of Delray Beach, Florida. Longtime supporter of the industry. Been more involved here in the state of Ohio the last few years. This one was gelded earlier this year.
I'll tell you, they were cheering like crazy, the Ronnie Gillespie fan club over here, as they got up about halfway through that race, and they were cheering for him to come on, and when he pulled ahead, they really let out a great cheer.
When the gate swings folded, Pink Panther and Kane Kaufman and
Dan Noble and C.S. Tom K, they battled for that first.
Opening quarter was in 27-1. Got to the half and.
Generation 2-year-old colt gelding trot number 1. What's Shaking? It's a 2-year-old gelded son of What the Hill out of the Conway Hall mare Broadway Sister, owned by W.J. Donovan. Trained and driven to victory by Ronnie Gillespie. First career start, first career win, establishes a lifetime record, winning the Next Generation 2-year-old colt and gelding trot in a stakes record, 155-4.
It's funny, I had a chance to talk to Ryan Miller a couple nights ago, and he says Ronnie has his horses ready to go for this, and there is the perfect example that he did. He had What's Shaking ready to roll. What's Shaking by What the Hill out of the Conway Hall mare Broadway Sister. Looking in the winner's circle, just looked like knew where it was supposed to be and happy as could be.
Big mile for this gelding.
So it's official now. Your winner, What's Shaking, finishing second was Rose Run Ari, and with that, you know what that is too?
What's that?
The one hole gets its win.
I was thinking Eddie Money is going to be what she's
there you go.
shaken by Eddie Money.
You better get over there and tell Barry what to play. He's got L, but finally the one hole finally gets a win in the Next Generation.
So.
And it was funny, and when I talked to Ronnie, he wasn't too keen on having the one hole. He wanted to be out the 3 or the 4 hole, which gives him a couple of options of what he might want to do.
Yeah, I talked to a trainer earlier this week about why does it seem that in the Next Generation, he says there's just so much action in the opening parts of these races that it sets up well for closers, and normally the closers are coming from the outside post. So, a great opportunity, not necessarily what you want to see, 6, 7, 8, but it hasn't been too detrimental here in this series.
Let's go back up to Barry.
$1 exacta, $7.70, 50-cent try, $24.75 at 20 cents. Superfecta, $87.46.
Well, that'll wrap up the next generation races, the 4 of those going for $150,000 each. What's shaking your winner in the 2-year-old trot? And I know you were looking at the Ohio Sire Stakes, when those will be starting for these 2-year-olds.
Hopefully in 11 days we'll see a lot of these right back at Northfield Park for the first leg of the Sire Stakes. Last year I think it was only a week between them, but this year there's 11 days between the next generation and the first leg of the Sire Stakes. So if you're in the Northfield Park area on July 17th, come on up. You'll see some great trotters in action.
And that's for the colt trot, and then the other 3 legs, or the other 3 divisions, will be starting after that. So next up, we will have the moneymaker for 3-year-old filly trotters when we return to Eldorado Scioto Downs right after this.
The Delaware County Fair, where history meets horsepower. Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime as the world-famous Little Brown Jug takes center stage. Witness the heart-pounding action, the thundering hooves, and the sheer determination of these incredible athletes compete for the coveted Little Brown Jug title. Don't miss your chance to be a part of history. For ticket and hospitality options, visit littlebrownjug.com. The Little Brown Jug, where champions are made and legends are born. Be there!
Prolific Equine, now managing the finest mares and stallions in Ohio, including Catch the Fire, Captain Kirk, and in Indiana, the new superstar, Why Not Now. The first crop of Catch the Fire produced the most expensive yearling to ever be sold at an Ohio sale, and his progeny are now racing in 2024. Captain Kirk bred some of the finest mares in the state during his first year in the breeding shed. Have a free conversation with Prolific Equine to see how your mare can produce a champion to dominate in the sales ring and on the track. If you own a broodmare, send an email right now to info@prolificequine.com.
Welcome back to Eldorado Scioto Downs. We were talking about the schedule for the Ohio Sire Stakes and for these 2-year-olds, as Jay said. It'll start on Saturday. Well, for the filly trotters, it'll be Sunday, July 14th, but it starts on Saturday, July 13th here at Eldorado Scioto Downs, as we have the 2-year-old colt pacers and the 2-year-old filly pacers in action. And then the Sunday, it'll be the filly trotters, and the colt trotters will return on Monday up at Eldorado Scioto Downs.
We'll forgive Susan Schroeder. She tried to get Ronnie Gillespie to come up here, but Fox Sports seems to has a better better deal than what we've got. But I'm sure Ronnie is super excited, and great effort by his gelding here in the 10th.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they even did a winner's circle interview down there over the in-house feed. Did they do one? No. They didn't do one just for Fox. So Fox Sports was grabbing them. So. But so next up here is the Ronnie Gillespie fan club, all making their way back up into the Three Diamonds room here in the grandstand. And they happy bunch, you know. Good thing the bar's still open, probably, because I think they're going to be doing an awful lot of celebrating now. So. But the moneymaker now coming up is for 3-year-old filly trotters. Oh, we're going to have an interview, so they've got Ronnie Gillespie. Now let's go down to the winner's circle.
What's shaking? Ronnie Gillespie in the winner's circle. And Ronnie, you know, these 2-year-old trotters in a big stakes like this, a lot of them making their first start. What was kind of your approach coming into the night? How did that change when the gates floated, especially with that big speed battle on the front?
Well, I knew the 2 and 3 horse, they had a lot of gate speed, so I wasn't looking to leave. I just wanted to get good position, and I just wanted to sit with Brett Miller. I just worried about him because his horse showed a lot of speed coming home. So after he left the gate and was in front of me, I was confident that it was going to be a good race.
Yeah, and then you were right on his back up the backstretch and turning for home. You guys were really doing a lot of trotting, even with that early speed. Turning for home, a big celebration there, crossing the wire. What did that feel like for you? How special is it for you?
It's very special because last year I raced in this race with Sugar instead and finished second. So I had to redeem myself, and then I was in the 8th race, and my filly made a break, and so it's all good. It's real special.
And then you do the training as well. So talk about the spring training down. When did you start to know you had a horse the caliber of winning a race like this?
When I broke the colt, I didn't even like. I didn't even like the colt. Mr. Bill Donover, he purchased him. He was so little, and I really didn't like him. But the minute I got down to about 220, he just showed that he just had a lot of heart. And I told him, I said, I want to put this colt in the next generation.
Well, and there you have it. What's shaking? The next generation champion in a stakes record time, 155-4. Trainer driver Ronnie Gillespie in the winner's circle. Congratulations to the Connections.
You gotta love the honesty of Ronnie Gillespie.
You do.
Didn't like
You
this
do.
colt and wins the next generation. It's a long way from Mississippi. He got his first win in 1997 in the Philadelphia Fair. His biggest win by far, right here tonight in the next generation. His first win, 208.
208.
He could have gone a mile and a quarter in 208. So, congratulations to Ronnie Gillespie.
So the win for Ronnie Gillespie. And next up, we're going to have the Moneymaker, named for one of the most impressive trotters of all time. Moneymaker, and the 7 horses in this, all nominated for this, and they ended up with a field of 7. And we've got a really special one in Jurassic Hattie, who has gone 12 for 12, hitting the board, winning 9 of her 12 starts.
You know the T-shirts that say Ohio versus? This could be Ohio versus the world, because this is a Grand Circuit event, so this is open to any jurisdiction. So we have 4 Ohio breds, 1 New Jersey, 1 Indiana, and 1 New York bred. So we have the numbers are on the Ohio side, and we'll see how they do against the best that the nation has to offer.
And and you take a look at the trainers. Chris Beaver has a couple entries. Ron Burke has 1. You've got, and then you've got some smaller trainers like Duke Sugg, Eric Nesselrode, Vernon Beachy, smaller trainers that, are having some great success with their horses right now.
Yep. As we mentioned earlier, these events were held outside of Scioto Downs, came into Scioto Downs this year, and it fits great with the next generation. You have the $150,000 races, you have these 2 $100,000 Grand Circuit events, and on the track TVs, they're showing, Moneymaker highlights. I happened to be at the Red Mile that day when Julie Crone, the thoroughbred jockey, came out of retirement and rode Moneymaker. When I say rode, she actually rode, under saddle, and set a world record for under saddle. It was something unique, because a lot of people weren't at the races, weren't sure what was going on, saw what was happening, and it obviously, when you had Julie Crone there, a Triple Crown winning jockey, participating in the, boy, that makes me feel old. Does that say 2000?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Well, she didn't break the record. She smashed the record. She went 154-1 under saddle with Moneymaker. The previous record was 158-2.
But wasn't that like Mrs. Van Lennep and Greyhound or something? I mean, it was pretty.
Preferential back in
okay.
1994.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, she just shattered that mark, by 4 seconds, over 4 seconds. But
Scioto Downs did a really nice thing earlier today. They had Wally Hennessy in attendance. Not only was he cheering on Gabe Pruitt in the Battle of the Big Mouse, or whatever they were officially calling it, but Jimmy Tackler, who was the trainer of Moneymaker. Both of them were here signing autographs, and obviously Hall of Famers on both sides, in Canada and in the United States for Wally.
big event, here, nearly $1.2 million in purses. They had food trucks. They had a bounce house. They had the autograph session. They had the race. The match race. They had a lot of stuff going on. And it was great. It was a huge crowd. A huge crowd came here tonight, as you can see from some of the crowd shots, the people that were here. So it was a great night here at Eldorado Scioto Downs. Still not done.
I was going to say, let's not use past tense.
Yeah, we still have 3 more races to go in ours as we wait for the post parade for the moneymaker. The horses in this one: Legacy Affair, trained by Duke Sugg; Roxana by Chris Beaver; Jurassic Hattie by Eric Nesselrode; Allegiant by Vernon Beachy; Skyway Page with Susan Miller; Pizzelle, another Chris Beaver trainee; and I Am Independent, Ron Burke. So those are the trainers, and we'll have the drivers for you as we get set, waiting for the post parade for this, the $100,000 moneymaker. So it should be another one of those exciting races that they've got here tonight.
I remember a few years ago I was interviewing Chris Beaver for a story, and I said, at what point will Ohio horses be able to compete on a national level? And he says, we're there now. And that was about 5 years ago. So here's a great opportunity to show what Ohio's made of. And with that, we'll hear the call to the post, and we'll send it up to Barry Vickroy with a call.
Leave the paddock and come onto the track for the 11th race, the Grand Circuit, $100,000, the moneymaker for 3-year-old filly trotters. Leading the post parade tonight is Millionaire Stakes winner Ready for Money. Took a 4-year-old mark of 150-3, made over $1.2 million in career earnings. He is by the leading French stallion Ready for Cash, and from a daughter of the great moneymaker. Has a 2-year-old Ready for Money, won 2 legs and the $250,000 Kentucky Sire Stakes final, and finished second in the Valley Victory final. At 3, won his Hambletonian elimination and second in the $1 million final. He also won the Zwick Memorial, Good Times, and Stanley Dancer Memorial. At 4, he won the Graduate final and finished third in the Breeders' Crown final and Hambletonian Maturity. Ready for Money is by the dominant French stallion Ready for Cash, who won the Prix de Mary 2 times and retired as the richest trotter of all times with earnings over $5.7 million. His second dam is the incomparable Moneymaker. Standing stud at Midland Acres, Ready for Money's oldest foals are 2024 yearlings and will be available this fall at the Ohio Selected Sale, Lexington Select, and Harrisburg Yearling Sales. Moneymaker's regular driver, Hall of Famer Wally Hennessy, is post-parading Ready for Money. Here's the field for the $100,000, the moneymaker. Number 1 is Legacy Affair, owned by trainer Duke Sugg. Stephen Moss, Michael Lee, Ronnie Wren Jr. drives. Number 2 is Roxana, owned by Sandra Burnett and trainer Chris Beaver with Aaron Merriman. Number 3 is Jurassic Hattie, owned by Jerry Welsh, trained by Eric Nesselrode with Brett Miller. Number 4 is Allegiant, owned by Ryan Smith, trained by Vernon Beachy with Hunter Myers. Five is Skyway Page, owned by DNS Stable. Ryan Raber, LNS Racing, and Anthony Schwartzentruber. Susan Miller trains, Luane Miller drives. 6 is Pizzelle, owned by trainer Chris Beaver and Donald Robinson with Tyler Smith. And completing the field, number 7, I Am Independent, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Hatfield Stables, Weaver, Bersimbi, and Knox Services. Ron Burke trains. Chris Page is in the sulky. That's the field for the $100,000.
So there's the field. Let's tell you a little bit more about these horses in depth. The number 1, Legacy Affair, Ronnie Wren Jr. drives for Duke Sugg. This is a 3-year-old filly by Long Tom out of the Uncle Peter mare Imagine Her Reign, owned by Duke Sugg, Stephen Moss, and Michael Lee. 8 starts this year, a win and 6 seconds. Lifetime, 18 starts, 2 wins, 8 seconds, 1/3, earnings of over $92,000. Was a $30,000 purchase at the Ohio Select Sale. Last time out, finished second at Scioto Downs. 2 starts ago was in the Ohio Sire Stakes, finished second trotting in 153 and 3.
Number 2 is Roxana. Chris Beaver trains and co-owns with the breeder Sandra Burnett of Wilmington, Ohio. This one's winless in 6 starts this season, but is 4 of 14 lifetime, $214,000 in earnings. Took a mark last year of 56-1 here at Scioto Downs. Broke last time out in a non-winners of 4 here at Scioto Downs.
The number 3 is Jurassic Hattie. Right now, the 4-5 favorite. Brett Miller drives for Eric Nesselrode. This 3-year-old filly by Volstead is out of the striking Sabra mare High Gear Sabra, owned and bred by Jerry Welsh. This year, a perfect 5 for 5, $124,000 in earnings. Lifetime 12 for 12 on the board with 9 wins, earning over $250,000. Last time out in the Ohio Sire Stakes, a winner by 9.5 lengths in 52 and 3, a lifetime mark.
Hunter Myers will call the shots on number 4, Allegiant. Vernon Beachy trains for Ryan Smith of Denison, Ohio. This one is a New Jersey bred out of Tactical Landing. 1 for 4 this season. The win was in the Courier Ives last start on June 7th at the Meadows.
The number 5 is Skyway Page. Lee Wayne Miller drives for Susan Miller. This is a Swan for All out of Prismatica by Cantab Hall. 12 of 14 hitting the board lifetime this year. 3 starts, 2 wins and a second. Lifetime 14 wins, or 14 starts, 5 wins, 6 seconds. Earnings over $310,000. Purchased for just $10,000 at the Hoosier sale. Last time out in the Indiana Sire Stakes, the third leg, finished second, 2 and 3, finished second, 3/4 of a length back, trotting in 155 and 2.
Number 6 is Pizzelle, will be driven by Tyler Smith. Chris Beaver trains and co-owns with Don Robinson of Cardington, Ohio. This is a New York bred. Walner has 1 win in just 3 starts this season. Last year, though, was a winner of the Goldsmith Maid at the Meadowlands, a $428,000 event in 154.
That'll kick up your earnings very quickly.
Very quickly.
The number 7 is I Am Independent. Chris Page drives for Ron Burt. This is a Triumphant Caviar out of the Andover Hall mare. Can't Get Over You, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Hatfield Stables, Weaver Buscemi, and Knox Services. The breeder is Marion Beachy. 8 starts this year, a win, a second, 2/3, a lifetime, 4 wins and 17 starts with a $37,000 purchase at the Buckeye Classic sale. Last time out, though, made a couple of breaks. 2 starts prior in the Ohio Sire Stakes, was 4th, losing in that race to Sugar instead, but did trot timed in 154 and 1.
Number 7, I Am Independent. I say it's like the alphabet. There's a lot of X's, a lot of O's, a few I and a few P's in there. You never like to see those in your charted line.
That's a good point. I thought you were talking about the name. There's a couple I's, a couple of E's,
yeah,
so an A. A lot of vowels there. As they get set to go.
Jurassic Hattie, obviously, as 1 to 5 is the choice, and undefeated. The interesting about Jurassic Hattie, participated in the Buckeye Stallion Series last year, raced in the Next Generation, kind of didn't race in the Sire Stakes, raced in the Buckeye Stallion Series, won the championship, and now obviously is one of the top horses, not only in the state of Ohio, but maybe in the country.
Talked to Brett Miller about that, was not nominated to the Ohio Sire Stakes. And, after the
Next
Generation, he said to Jerry Welch, the owner, and Eric Nesselrode, the trainer, said, man, this horse is going to be great in the Sire Stakes. And they said, not nominated to the Ohio Sire Stakes.
That's why it's very important to get your nomination checks in on time.
It took some time off after that, after the Next Generation, came up out of that a little sore, but took some time off, came back, though, and ended up going 4 wins and 7 starts and 3 seconds, but right now $250,000.
How deep is Ohio when this horse that's undefeated didn't win the Buckeye Stallion Series last year? Championship.
And right now just blowing through the field. I mean, again, this was going to be another chance to see the matchup between Sugar Instead and Jurassic Hattie. Sugar Instead, last year's 2-year-old filly trotter of the year in Ohio, and Jurassic Hattie hook up, and they haven't hooked up. This year here yet, and we're still waiting for that to happen.
I haven't had a chance to ask Virgil Morgan, but I did see Sugar Instead qualified this week and broke stride in the qualifier, so I don't know if
that's
there's
2 in a row that she has broken, so she'll have to come back and qualify now.
Jurassic Hattie at 2-5 is your choice. Besides that, your number 4 Allegiant at 9-2, coming in from New Jersey. The New Jersey bred coming in from actually the Meadows in Pittsburgh.
Her last time out was in a qualifier, won by over 11 lengths, trotting in 56-3, has a mark of 52-3 this year at the Meadows. Lifetime mark taken as a 2-year-old at Lexington, 152-2. That is the best mark of any of these horses. Jurassic Hattie, 152-3, took that in its last race out in the Ohio Sire Stakes here at Scioto Downs. You know, it's always great when you look at a horse's line and you look at that last column and there's nothing but ones and, oh, there's one little 2 down there, and that came in that Buckeye Stallion Series Championship last year. Lost that to Just As I Am Oz.
But we'll cut her a little slack. Had post 8 at Dayton, was parked the entire mile, finished second, beaten only a length and a half in that $75,000 Buckeye Stallion Series final way back on September 30th of last year.
You know, it's impressive, though, Jay. You take a look back on April 22nd, and the Hackett final has a break and still wins the race by 2 lengths.
Well, earlier today, we saw Sponzano's break. The very first race of the day was a 5-horse race, Sire Stakes 100,000. Breaks at the start, spots the field 15 lengths at the quarter, loses by only 3 lengths, and the mile was in 53. So obviously a very quick one there once minded his manners. The gate is rolling for the 11th, so we'll send it up to Barry Vickroy.
$100,000 moneymaker from the Rail Out Legacy Affair. Roxana, Jurassic Hattie, Allegiant, Skyway Page, Pizzelle, and on the outside, I Am Independent. Field of 7 to kick off. A $1 pick 3. They're at the post, and here they go. Here, off and trotting. Jurassic Hattie and Legacy Affair will go for the lead. Allegiant in the center of the track to the outside. Pizzelle. Away 5th is Skyway Page. 6 into the turn. Roxanne and the early trailers. I Am Independent as they make their way around the turn and head to the quarter. Jurassic Hattie, the heavy 1-5 favorite, has made the lead. Legacy Affair to secure the pocket. Allegiant will tuck in 3rd. Pizzelle is there 4th, followed by Skyway Page. Roxana, and at the back, I Am Independent. Past the opening quarter, 27 flat, and Jurassic Hattie will bring him into the lane the first time. Legacy Affairs trotting in 2nd. Allegiant looking on 3rd. Pizzelle is next. Then it is Skyway Page, Roxana, and I Am Independent. They pass the stands the first time. Tracking the heavy 1-5 favorite Jurassic Hattie. At the back of the pack, I Am Independent has jumped it off. Headed around the clubhouse turn on over to the half. Jurassic Hattie showing the way, setting the tempo, and having her way on the lead. She puts the half up, just 56-2, 29-2 in the second split. Legacy Affairs, 2 back racing in 2nd. Allegiant starts to move to the outside for Hunter Myers. Pizzelle is there 4th. It's 2 to Skyway Page. She's yet to fire for Wayne Miller. Roxana's next in 6th, and following the miscue, far back and trailing I Am Independent. To 3/4 they go, and Jurassic Hattie will have a challenge on her hand. Allegiant is right there at her. They're wheel to wheel by 3/4 in 1:24, 27-3 backside. Allegiant on the outside, a nose in front. Jurassic Hattie inside, she won't give way. It's 2 back to Legacy Affairs. She's 3rd, outside 4th. Pizzelle into the stretch. Jurassic Hattie inside, battles back. Allegiant won't go away. She'll take a short lead as they drive for the wire. It's Allegiant to win the moneymaker. Allegiant in a photo for place in 152-1.
152-1, Allegiant with Hunter Myers in the bike for Vernon Beachy. Comes home, challenges the undefeated Jurassic Hattie, hands her first loss of the year, and comes home a winner in the $100,000 money maker. It was a photo for second with Jurassic Hattie. And I think Legacy Affair was the other one that got up for the photo. So we'll have to see. But right now, not sure who it was. On the inside, it was Aaron Merriman with Roxana for second or third. So we'll have to see how that photo comes between Roxana and Jurassic Hattie. But regardless, Jurassic Hattie will hit the board for the 13th time in 13 starts.
Hunter Myers listed for just one drive, and that was this one here with Allegiant. So paid for a little gas money.
Owned by Ryan Smith of Denison, Ohio. The Tactical Landing by Tactical Landing out of Too Good For You by Yankee Glide.
Has just one qualifying start in the last month, but as we mentioned, the last start was back on June 7th at the Meadows. Made that a winning effort. Comes here, and the moneymaker, and is the one.
4, 3, 2, 1.
There was a driver. Literally, they drenched his shirt and nothing but. It ain't gonna pay much, but I'll take it for like normal.
So Allegiant, your winner, a $50,000 purchase at the Harrisburg sale, heading to the winner's circle.
Headed back in front of the grandstand after winning the 11th race, the $100,000 Grand Circuit Moneymaker, number 4, Allegiant. 3-year-old daughter of Tactical Landing out of the Yankee Glide mare, Too Good For You, owned by Ryan Smith. Trained by Vernon Beachy, Hunter Myers the winning driver. 7th career win for Allegiant, her 2nd win of the season. That's 2 in a row for her. She wins the money maker tonight in career best fashion. A new lifetime mark, 152-1.
That was the joke.
Sure. Talk to him about that. Talk to him about. So there's your winner, Allegiant. Ryan Smith, the owner. Vernon Beachy trains. Hunter Myers in the bike for the moneymaker. First time the race has been raced here at Eldorado Scioto Downs. As Jay said, great to have the Grand Circuit back during the middle of the season instead of at the very end of the season.
Jurassic Hattie set the pace, held on for second in a photo over number 2 Roxana, the Chris Beaver trainee. And number 1, the Legacy Affair with Ronnie Wren for Duke Sugg came up and finished 4th. It has been made official.
There you go, 4-3, 2-1. The other finishers were Skyway Page, Pizzell, and I Am Independent made a break early in that race, and that'll be 2 races in a row that I Am Independent has had a break in 3 of the last 5. So we'll see if they're able to grab an interview down in the winner's circle with either Hunter Meyer or maybe the trainer, Vernon Beachy. 5th start of the year, 2nd win. With that, will take Allegiant's earnings up to $98,077.
Down to $6.10, 50-cent try, $39.65. Superfect at $55.94. The mid-card pick 444, 51.20.
So there are your payouts. Allegiant now 7 wins in 15 starts, earnings of $393,000 on the card, and with the 152-1 final time, takes a lifetime mark, takes a tick off the old record. Next up on the schedule will be the Ohio Sire Stakes. The 2nd division for 3-year-old colt pacers will go for $65,000. We're going to wait through the replay and see if they end up with a interview down in the winner's circle. As you can see right here, Jurassic Caddy had the lead as they were going into the half. Legacy Affair sitting there in second with Ronnie Wren Jr. and Allegiant just sitting third, waiting for the opportunity. And heading to the half, just past the half, came first over, did Allegiant, heading up the back stretch and started to make the move. Caught up with Legacy Affair, went by and then decided to challenge Jurassic Caddy at that point. And Jurassic Caddy, and right there, Allegiant hook up, and Allegiant able to put the head in front. And at that point, I had said to you, Jay, it looked like Brett Miller knew what he had, asked her for a little more. She gave it to him, retook the lead as Allegiant went a little wide on the turn, but as they turned for home, Allegiant dug in, able to get clear and draw away to get the win. Racing up on the inside was Aaron Merriman and Roxana to challenge, but Jurassic Caddy just able to get up for the second place in the photo.
You believe in omens?
Uh-oh, what do you got?
We're a few minutes from Rickenbacker Airport, which Allegiant flies out of.
There you go.
If that wasn't a betting sign, what was?
Well, the moneymaker is in the books. We're next up, the Ohio Sire Stakes for 3-year-old Colt Pacers, second division. We'll take a break and tell you all about it. We got an interview, so let's send it down to Hunter Myers.
Hunter Myers getting the job done, an impressive passion with Allegiant going first up. Hunter, want to talk to you about the trip. Obviously, Jurassic Caddy kind of had things her way on the front end. You knew you were going to have to go first up. How confident were you in that trip?
You know, she's, like I said, she's a very nice horse to drive, and you know, she loves what she does. So, you know, me having to come first up, I was a little worried about it, but knowing, you know, that how good she was, you know, the previous weeks and stuff, I was pretty confident in how she was going to handle herself.
And going back, you know, she gave her a couple of weeks off, or a big win there in the Courier Ives, 152-3. They gave her a couple of weeks off, bring her back with the qualifier, but you had to be pretty confident that she was coming in really good form.
Yeah, like I said, Vernon does a really good job with her, you know, and when she's in, she's ready to go.
You mentioned you got to train her a couple times last year. Want to talk to you about the transition from 2 to 3, where she matured, where she got better from 2 to 3.
I mean, absolutely everything. Like, you know, you can race her like any way you want to. You know, you ain't got to really worry about her being a little bit too aggressive where you got to steady her at all the time. Like, she's a really nice horse to drive, and she loves what she does.
There you have it, the winner of the $100,000 moneymaker, Allegiant. Congratulations, Hunter. Congratulations, the entire team behind Allegiant.
Well, there's Hunter Myers, who was in the bike when won the Courier and Ives over at the Meadows back on June 7th. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Ohio Sire Stakes, the 3-year-old Colt Pace, the second division, when we return to Eldorado Scioto Downs right after this.
Athletes, they come in all shapes and sizes. They catch, they leap, they run. Some athletes even come with 4 legs and paws and hooves. When these beloved family members need care, remember the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Ohio State experts wrote the book on exceptional animal care and know how to get our best friends back on their feet. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center.
Volstead, Coach K. Hanover, Slay, Ohio's top trotters stand at Dublin Valley Farms. Volstead's offspring include Sugar Instead, the 2023 Ohio 2-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year, and 2024 Ohio Sire Stakes winner Jurassic Caddy. Coach K. Hanover, the son of world record holder Walner, and Slay, the son of Chapter 7, standing his first season at Dublin Valley Farms. Welcome back to Eldorado Scioto Downs, joined now by Jay Wolf as a special guest, Jimmy Tacker.
We are absolutely honored to have Jimmy Takter here with us tonight. Jimmy is a member of the Swedish, Canadian, and United States Hall of Fames, and also the Little Brown Jug Wall of Fame. So you have the Grand Slam, if you will. Jimmy came to the United States in the early '80s, and the rest, as they say, is history. I mean, when you recently completed your training career, you had 6 Hambletonian Oaks, 4 Hambos, the Jug, an Elite Lop, and a Prayer to Me Meek. But tell us a little bit about Moneymaker, the one that you won 3 of those classic events with.
Well, Moneymaker was, she was so special horse. I mean, she meant a lot for me. Of course, I wasn't that old, and both international and here in U.S. and Canada as well. I traveled around the world with her. I mean, we were in Italy, France, and Sweden, Norway, and she was just so unique horse and put up with all this. We flew her back and forth to Europe numerous times, and she shipped, and she was just an iron horse and put up with everything we did to her.
Now, a few years ago, you retired as a trainer, but I saw the other day somebody had their green, black, and white silks on, or colors on, for some training efforts. Getting the itch to get back on the bike?
No, not really. I mean, I driven a couple qualifiers and stuff like that. Yes, just keep on going a little bit. I'm fortunate enough that I have my daughter Nancy, doing well, and she have a nice barn, and I can participate a little bit, helping her out a little bit during the summer. I stay in Florida in the winter, so it's life is good right now.
Yeah, you mentioned your daughter Nancy Takter. She has a big weekend. The Meadowlands Pace eliminations were earlier tonight, but she also has a couple Hall of Famers going in this weekend at Goshen, right?
Yeah, she have Tall Dark Stranger going into Hall of Fame, so that's exciting. We're actually flying early morning up to Goshen for tomorrow.
Well, we can't thank you enough for being here today, sharing your stories with Moneymaker, and best of luck and enjoy your retirement.
Yes, it's been a very nice time. Everybody treat us so great here, and it's been fun to watch beautiful races here in Scioto, and I love the new grandstand, and it looks like Ohio doing very well. I'm happy for that.
Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank
Back to you, Frank.
Thanks, Jay, and Jimmy Takter.
Thank you.
Very good.
He was there in town, and
Thank you.
for the Moneymaker was signing autographs, and then we had Wally Hennessy was here also. He was doing the starting gate earlier today, so it was a big day of here at Eldorado Scioto Downs for the Moneymaker. So we're getting ready for the $65,000 second division for the Ohio Sire Stakes for 3-year-old colt pacers. Earlier today they had the first division of the Sire Stakes.
Montreal Teague won.
That was in 152, or no, I'm sorry. Got the wrong race there. Trying to see which race it was. There it is. It was this one right here, $100 man won that.
We have $100 bills, we have $100 mans. There's just $100 everywhere.
And the $1 million man, Ronnie Gillespie, just came up, and
they're all slapping them on the back. I think they know where the bar tab's going later.
Maybe the bar tab there, but hey, how about the OHHA interview? We did it again, Matt Clark. We interview these people. They have great success. So just congratulations to Ronnie Gillespie and his win today. So we get set for the second division for the $65,000 Ohio Sire Stakes 3-year-old colt pace, and this is going to be a shootout. This is a loaded field of the two divisions. By far, the top horses ended up in this one, and the number one right now, the favorite at 4-5, is Clever Cody, trained by Dr. Ian Moore. Aaron Merriman will be in the bike. This is a colt by the Ponderosa out of the Real Artist mare Cam's Van Gogh, owned by the Clever Cody Stables, bred by Marvin Raber. This year, 6 starts, 2 wins, 1 second. Lifetime, 16 starts, 8 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, $463,000. Was a $24,000 purchase at the Ohio Select Sale. Coming off a 5th place finish at Woodbine, did win The Ohio Sire Stakes back on June 1st at Northfield Park, winning by 2 1/4, pacing in 152.
I was fortunate to go up to the North America Cup, and we visited with Dr. Ian Moore at his barn on the morning of the consolation, and he did a little equipment change, and that second place finish by a nose was the scantest nose that I've ever seen. I didn't know how it was a dead heat, but I was talking to his caretaker, and he says that Aaron Merriman gets along so well with Clever Cody that he kind of wished that David Miller and Sylvain Filion could get a set of Aaron Merriman's colors, and maybe he could fool Clever Cody that Aaron's was behind him.
And he's had a couple of bad breaks, really. He had some broken equipment earlier in the year and then made a break behind the gate. So it hasn't been the year they expected out of Clever Cody, but hopefully they're getting him where they want him to be as the year continues on.
Yeah, I talked to Dr. Moore, too, about how long the Sire Stakes season is. I mean, it's going to go from the first weekend in May all the way now till the second weekend in October with these super nights. So they're having a hard time finding events for this one. It's hard to find an Ohio-bred event in Canada. So he's got to race against some war horses up there. I mean, the Blue Hunt that he lost to was a Grand Circuit horse last year. So obviously much tougher competition in those conditioned races up in Canada.
Yeah, I talked to him too, and that's what he said. He said, they were hoping to come down for the Sire Stakes, get a couple of wins, get the points they needed, race elsewhere, because the way the schedule was working out, it was falling on some other big races that they were interested in.
Yep. Number 2 is down by the Dance Club. Ron Burke trains. Chris Page will drive. Forgive me if you've heard this before, but Burke Racing, Beastie, Kirchfield Stables, and J&T Silva, Purnell, and Libby. This one is 3 of 7 on the year, 5 of 12 lifetime, has $44,000 in earnings. Last time out was a winner at the Meadows in a winners of 2, non-winners of 5 event.
All or nothing for Down by the Dance Club. It's either win or not hit the board. The number 3 is Who Day Nation. Tyler Smith drives for Jim Arlich Jr. Down by the Seaside out of the Towner's Big Guy mare. It's Ladies Night. This is a homebred for Laura and Paul Baker. 7 starts this year, a couple of wins. It has 17 starts lifetime, the 2 wins, earnings just over $55,000. And the first leg of the Sire Stakes finished 6th at Miami Valley back on May 4th.
Number 4 is Janelle Graney. Brett Miller will drive for owner and trainer Betty Clegg. This one's been dipping the toes in the Grand Circuit, raced in the North America Cup for $1 million Canadian back on June 15th and finished 8th, and then also was 8th in the Messenger final last time out.
Let's pick up the post parade.
12th race, Ohio Sire Stake, 3-year-old Colton Gelding Pace. The purse is $65,000. There are no changes in the 12th. It will kick off the late pick 4. Race 12 also features super high 5 wagering. Here's the field. Number 1 is Clever Cody, owned by the Clever Cody Stable, trained by Dr. Ian Moore with Aaron Merriman. Number 2 is Down by the Dance Club, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Beastie LLC, Keifeld Stable, J&T Silver Purnell, and Libby, trained by Ron Burke with Chris Page. Number 3 is Who Day Nation, owned by Laura and Paul Baker, trained by Jim Arledge Jr. with Tyler Smith. Number 4, Janelle Graney, owned and trained by Betty Clegg with Brett Miller. Number 5, Rock the Hill. It's owned by trainer Jessica Rogner and Paul O'Neill. Josh Sutton drives. Number 6 is Rose Run Zane, owned by John and Leanne Saunders, trained by Dan Veneer with Austin Hanners. 7, Drinking My Baby Goodbye. It's owned and trained by Dan Hale, Chris Presley. And completing the field will be number 8, Outer Banks, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Raz Racing, J&T Silver, Purnell, and Libby, and Weaver Buscemi. Ron Burke trains. Ronnie Wren Jr. is in the sulky.
Okay, let's take a look. As you said, the Bills fan had to say Who Day Nation, so you're up with Janelle Graney.
We did Janelle Graney.
Okay. Number 5 is Rock the Hill. Josh Sutton drives for Jessica Rogner. This Racing Hill is a gelding out of the mare Rockrates, out of the Rock and Roll Hanover, or by Rock and Roll Hanover, owned by Jessica Rogner and Paul O'Neill. 8 starts this year, has hit the board in 6, winning 4, earning $44,000 lifetime. 14 wins in 27 starts with earnings of $70,000. Last time out, finished 5th at MGM Northfield Park, finished 2nd in the Ohio Sire Stakes at Northfield Park in the 2nd leg.
Number 6 is Rose Run Zane. Dan Veneer trains for John and Leanne Saunders of Castle Rock, Colorado. Austin Hanners will make the decisions. Rose Run Zane won the 1st and 2nd legs of the Sire Stakes back in April and then again in June.
And the number 7 is Drinking My Baby Goodbye. Chris Presley drives for Daniel Hale. This is owned by Daniel Hale, also bred by Daniel Hale. 3 starts this year, a win and a 3rd lifetime, 8 wins and 17 starts, earnings just under $40,000. And when I say just under $40,000, $39,999. Last time out was a winner here at Scioto Downs in a non-winner of 1 pari-mutuel race.
Rounding out the field of 8 is the 8, Outer Banks. Ronnie Wren Jr. will make the decisions for Ron Burke. Burke Racing Stable, RAS Racing of Powell, J.T. Silva, Purnell, and Libya, Florida, and Weaver Buscemi. This one was a winner last time out on June 26th at the Meadows in a winners of 2, non-winners of 4 pari-mutuel event.
So this is a full star-studded affair, especially when you take a look at Clever Cody and Rose Run Zane, who have matched up in the Ohio Sire Stakes in the past. You know, both of them were winners in the 2nd leg at Northfield Park. They did not match up against each other. And then you throw in Janelle Granny, who, as Jay said, raced in the North American Cup. So you've got 3 that are going to really go out and come up with, in this, the 2nd division of the $65,000 Scioto Downs Ohio Sire Stakes. So right now the 3 to 5 favorite is Clever Cody. Rose Run Zane, the 2nd choice at 5 to 2. And then your 3rd choice at 7 to 1 is the number 4, Janelle Granny. And those are the 3 to expect. Rose Run Zane likes to get off the gate, will come from the 6th post position for trainer Dan Veneer, who we have seen out on the fair circuit early this year. He has won both the first 2 legs, so building up those points, getting ready for the $300,000 Scarlet Finals, which will take place at MGM Northfield Park this year. Ronnie Gillespie and his crew up here enjoying everything, and just you look at Ronnie, just the smile on his face that he has going on right now. Really, really happy for Ronnie, and he's real happy after the win he had back in the Next Generation for the 2-year-old colt Trot. What shaking winning, setting a new stakes record. Clever Cody, owned by the Clever Cody Stable of Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, is by the Ponderosa. Was just a $24,000 purchase at the Ohio Select Sale. 5th in its last time out, up at Woodbine back on 6/22. So got the week off and then comes back. So we'll see how Clever Cody does. Rose Run Zane has had a couple of weeks off, finished 2nd, led all the way, but was nipped at the line by Lake Chris in the finals, or in the non-winners of 10,000 in the last 4. Janelle Granny coming off a 8th place finisher in the MGM Messenger, a $225,000 race that took place back on June 28th. We do have one more race after this that we will have, and that will be the Nadia Lobell for the 3-year-old filly pace. It was a field of 7, now down to 6. with Geocentric being scratched, and we're going to have something a little unusual, a 1, a 1A, and a 1B in that race.
I just want to let everyone know that if there is ever a need for a 1F, we have a saddle pad in Delaware for 1F.
Was it ever used?
No. Not
Was
1F.
the E ever used, or the D?
I think they actually skip E. I think it's 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, then they go 1F. I think they skipped 1E because the E key looked like an F. But I've never seen a 1E. I've seen a 1F. But
so there you go. So the Catch the Fire timer is ticking down as we get set for this, the second division of the Ohio Sire Stakes for 3-year-old colt pacers, $65,000 purse from the rail out. It's Clever Cody and Aaron Merriman. Down by the Dance Club and Chris Page, Houday Nation and Tyler Smith, Janelle Granny and Brett Miller, Rock the Hill and Josh Sutton, Rose Runzane and Austin Hanners, Drinking My Baby Goodbye, Chris Presley, and Outer Banks, Ronnie Wren Jr. The gate is ready to roll, so we'll send it up to Barry Vickroy for the call of the Ohio Sire Stakes 3-year-old colt pace.
Gates rolling. It's post time for the 12th. Ohio Sire Stake, 3-year-old colt and gelding pacers, 12th race from Scioto Downs, a field of 8. They'll kick off the late pick 4. Gate swings into the back stretch, and here they go. They're off and pacing. Janelle Granny will go out for the lead. To the inside, Clever Cody, center of the track. Rose Runzane far outside. Outer Banks will circle up and march right to the top. Away 5th is down by the Dance Club, followed by Houday Nation. Next is Rock the Hill, and the early trailer is Drinking My Baby Goodbye. As they make their way around the turn on over to the quarter, it's Outer Banks with the lead. Rose Runzane continuing to march on the outside. Inside, Janelle Granny. Clever Cody is out and moving before the quarter, 26-3. As they scramble into the stretch the first time. Let's race them. Rose Runzane makes his way, crosses over, but Clever Cody moves up and he'll take over. So Outer Banks is kicked back third to the inside. Fourth, Janelle Granny. Down by the Dance Club is 5th, followed by Houday Nation. Next is Rock the Hill, and the trailer is Drinking My Baby Goodbye. On over to the half they go. Clever Cody, after an early march, has the lead and puts the half on the board. 54-3, 28 flat second quarter. Rose Runzane racing in second. Their third is Outer Banks. Fourth is Janelle Granny. Down by the Dance Club. Comes to the outside. He comes first up from 5th. Out to follow his cover is Rock the Hill. To the inside, staying in at the rail. Houday Nation in the trailer. Drinking My Baby Goodbye to 3/4. Clever Cody has the lead. As they drive to 3/4 up on the outside, here comes Outer Banks. Rose Runzane, the pocket sitter. Down by the Dance Club is now 4th, now 5th. Janelle Granny, 123-1. Pace of the final turn. Clever Cody still with the lead. Just a neck as Outer Banks is trying to close in. Inside, Rose Runzane. He'll wait for Racing Room. 3 wide, Rock the Hill. Down by the Dance Club, looking for Racing Room. Passing lane, Janelle Granny. Into the stretches. Clever Cody with the lead. He digs in from the challenge. Rock the Hill, closing late. Clever Cody hangs on to win it from Rock the Hill, Outer Banks, and Rose Runzane, 150-2.
So as you said, Dr. Moore said Aaron Merriman gets along real well with Clever Cody, and there he did right there, bringing it home for the win in 150-2.
Continues his streak of a good race, an average race, a good race, an average race. So just finished fifth last time out in the condition event and got the win.
Just a tick off of the his lifetime mark of 150-1. Finishing second was Rock the Hill with Josh Sutton finishing second. Otter Banks was third, and Rose Run Zane finishes fourth.
It was a spirited opening quarter as there was 4 horses that really wanted to lead, and Clever Cody cleared the lead before they got to the 3/8 mark and controlled the tempo and controlled the fractions and kept everyone at bay.
I think, Rose Run Zane was looking for a little room as they headed up the back stretch, but then all of a sudden you had Outer Banks on the outside, so I had to wait for the passing lane, and then at that point it's just a little bit too late, too much too late there, as driving away with the win was Clever Cody. It'll be interesting where Janelle Granny finished. Not sure if he was able to get up for 5th or not.
Number 5, Rock the Hill, was really closing strong. A horse we really haven't talked about a lot in the opening, but
15864.
So Janelle Granny does get up for 5th in the race.
Rock the Hill, 5th win in 9 starts this season.
Owned by Jessica Rogner, and Paul O'Neill is Rock the Hall. Is hit the board now in 7 of 9, and that'll put the earnings up over $50,000. Again, second place finish in the Sire Stakes, so gathering up those points to get to the
raced in the first leg
finals
of the Buckeye Stallion Series, then came into the Sire Stakes, and now a second, now a win. So, or 2 seconds, I should say.
2 seconds, yep.
Clever Cody. It's a 3-year-old son of the Ponderosa of the Real Artist mare, Cam's Van Gogh, owned by Clever Cody's stable, trained by Dr. Ian Moore. Aaron Merriman with his second winner on the program. Driving double for Aaron, 3rd of the season for Clever Cody. It's his 9th career win, the mile in 150-2.
He flies, he's the prize.
Back now, Clever Cody, who's already won Sire Stakes, so gathering up points, and that should get him into the finals, the Scarlet Finals. That should be enough points for him to get into the finals.
Trainer Ian Moore is an avid flyer. He has his own plane, so he loves racing in Ohio because he gets to fly down here. He can fly right into Rickenbacker. He says it's great.
And it looks like we will be having an interview with Aaron Merriman, who just took off the helmet, gave it to one of the caretakers, as they will take the horse back to the barn. So we'll keep it here until Merriman is ready to roll. Clever Cody, 3rd win in 7 starts this year.
Clever Cody is jug eligible, and Dr. Moore says his owners are very excited to come to Delaware. I'm just hoping he puts in the jug instead of the Ohio Breeders' Championship at this point.
Now you will, when will you start your road to the jug? How long before that starts?
I usually don't step on the Hamiltonians' toes, so the first week is always the week after the Hamiltonian.
Aaron Merriman getting the job done with Clever Cody, coming back to Ohio to win an Ohio Sire Stakes. Aaron, this horse had a little bit of a mixed bag up in Canada each of the last 3 starts, but coming back to Ohio, how confident were you tonight?
Very confident. The horse has always raced good for me. I think I've only got beat with him once. Hopefully that that trend continues. The horse is a little bit fickle. I can think about his mouth, and I'm a little bit weird, and he's weird, so probably we clash pretty well.
You opted to put him on the front end, make a move there after the first turn. They kind of stacked up on you a little bit, turning for home. Did you know how much you had left?
Honestly, I have plenty left. He's a stud. He's a colt. I really like that he doesn't want to get away from him. He kind of waits for the horse a little bit. This is probably only the 2nd time I've pulled his plugs, but he was very, very lackadaisical today. I was very, very happy. The horse can go 25 if I have to, but today I seen some guys going out there, and he let me just, do what I would ever wanted.
Yeah, and then you got to drive the horse last year at 2 as well. Talk about the transition from 2 to 3, how he's matured into his 3-year campaign.
I'm not going to say he matured all the way mentally, but the horse he's just a really, really good horse. He's he's big, he's strong. He was a big and strong 2-year-old. So, like I said, I'm very, very happy with the horse, the way he's racing, and I really, like I said, that he comes back to me when I want him to. It was a cheap 3rd quarter. I think I might have grabbed him a little bit too much because, he act like you want to take himself up a little bit. So, like I said, the first time you kind of keep after him a little bit and talk to him, but he's just a nice horse.
There it is, Clever Cody, a winner in the 12th Ohio Sire Stakes. Congratulations, Aaron Merriman and the entire team behind Clever Cody.
Athletes,
Clever
they
Cody
come in
this
all
year,
shapes
all
and
in the
sizes.
Ohio Sire Stakes, all with Aaron Merriman in the bike. We'll take a break, and when we come back, it will be our final race of the night for our broadcast, the Nadia Lobell, when we return to Eldorado Scioto Downs.
For over 50 years, Midland Acres has provided top-quality Ohio-bred colts and fillies. As a third-generation farm, we understand the importance of delivering well-cared-for and well-mannered yearlings. Get in the winner's circle with the yearlings by Fear the Dragon, Yankee Cruiser, Long Tom, Summa Cum Laude, Ready for Moni, and Bit of a Legend. See our yearlings at the Blooded Horse Sale August 27th and the Ohio Select Sale September 15th.
The Delaware County Fair, where history meets horsepower. Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime as the world-famous Little Brown Jug takes center stage. Witness the heart-pounding action, the thundering hooves, and the sheer determination of these incredible athletes compete for the coveted Little Brown Jug title. Don't miss your chance to be a part of history. For ticket and hospitality options, visit littlebrownjug.com. The Little Brown Jug, where champions are made and legends are born. Be there!
Prolific Equine, now managing the finest mares and stallions in Ohio, including Catch the Fire, Captain Kirk, and in Indiana, the new superstar Why Not Now. The first crop of Catch the Fire produced the most expensive yearling to ever be sold at an Ohio sale, and his progeny are now racing in 2024. Captain Kirk bred some of the finest mares in the state during his first year in the breeding shed. Have a free conversation with Prolific Equine to see how your mare can produce a champion to dominate in the sales ring and on the track. If you own a broodmare, send an email right now to info@prolificequine.com.
Welcome back to Eldorado Scioto Downs as we get set for our final race of the night. But before that, Jay Wolf is joined by another special guest, Wally Hennessy. Jay?
It's our pleasure to be joined by Hall of Fame driver Wally Hennessy. Wally, thanks for coming to Ohio.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Like when Jason had invited me, you guys got the Moneymaker Stake this year, and he said it was going to be a big night, and he was right on. You guys have done a tremendous job here. I'm very happy I came, and I want to thank everybody for the hospitality.
Now, Wally's won 11,702 races, including 4 Breeders' Crown, one with Moneymaker. So tell us a little bit about Moneymaker.
Well, Moneymaker was a special horse. To me, she was the greatest horse of all time. She was just one of those horses. I don't know, she just had every trait that you could have in a horse to make them great. But I think her biggest attribute was as easy as she got over the ground. She felt like she wasn't even really moving, but you knew you were moving because you were going by horses and they were going as hard as they could, and she wasn't.
Now the famous time trial at the Red Mile with Julie Crone, you had the best seat in the house. You were driving the prompter.
Actually, Jimmy and I both.
Okay.
Yeah, Jimmy and I both. And and that was Julie's first time doing that. That's how special she was. She never ever done anything like that before. They gave her Julie rode her a couple of times under saddle, and then they asked Jimmy and I to ride the prompters. So we didn't really know how fast we were going on prompters, and Julie really didn't know how fast she was going on the trot, because she's usually on the runners, thoroughbreds. And that's just how special Moneymaker was. I mean, 54?
I was there that day, and I was embarrassed to say that was in 2000. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's passed quick.
Yeah. Now, you're a native of Prince Edward Island. You're a member of the U.S. Hall of Fame and the Canadian Hall of Fame, but something tells me you're probably pretty proud, too, of you being a member of the Prince Edward Island Hall of Fame, too.
Yes. Well, that was my first one. That was my first one. Yeah, I grew up there. That's where I learned the trade, and I just kind of took a shot. I don't know, quite a few years ago. I don't want to tell you how many. I took a shot and said, I want to see if I can go bigger. And it worked out. I got lucky. But I learned from the right people. I learned from my father, my brother, and it worked out.
Now, one of the missions of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association is to promote the sport. And a couple of the bucket list items is the Gold Cup and Saucer in your native land of PEI, and the other one that is kind of under the radar is the Legends Day at Clinton Raceway, something that you just participated in. So Ian Fleming does a fabulous job with that every year. Tell us a little bit about those events.
Yeah, like all of them is great. But I'm glad you brought up the Gold Cup and Saucer, because to me that's one of the like I was lucky enough to like everybody always talks the Hamiltonian, the Little Brown Jug, which is rightfully so. But there's a lot of other races like the Prix de Marique, this Moneymaker was in, the Elite Lop, and the Gold Cup and Saucer. I ranked that right up there with them. Like I was in all them races, and I know I'm maybe a little biased, but I ranked the Gold Cup and Saucer right up there with them all. And I was very proud, what the job them guys are doing, Lee Drake and his team, what they do home to promote it. And as far as the Legends Day, Ian Fleming is just a promote, like he does it. It's a biannual thing. He does it every other year, and like we just finished last Sunday, and he's already working on 2 years from now. So I'm not sure I'm going to be in the next one. I think I'll be retired by then.
Or aren't you going to have a big send-off like John Campbell did?
No, I don't need it. I'm not worthy of that.
I think you are. So back to you, Frank.
Thanks, Jay, and thanks, Wally, as they are.
Thank you.
Big night here
Good
at
info there,
Eldorado
Hey,
Scioto.
where'd you come up with all that info?
I tried.
Coming into town with Wally Hennessy along with Jimmy Tatker for the Moneymaker and everything. So as we get set for the 13th, this is the Nadia Lobell, the 3-year-old filly pace, and we will have 6 horses going to the gate.
Hey,
3 of them are all under the Ron Burke training window, or training banner, as Seaside Diva, Passline, and Lulu are 1, 2, 1, 1A, and 1B.
Is that when they, were you there then?
No, I watched you online. I'm like,
we'll be getting ready to head
five minutes early
out
because
for the
no crowd
post
there
parade
Saturday.
shortly. The Nadia Lobell was by no nukes out of the Albatross mare Nora Bell, foaled back in 1984. The first foal out of her dam, Nadia Lobell set a high precedent for her siblings, earning $1 million. So that's a little bit about Nadia Lobell as they're getting ready to come out onto the post parade. But we'll tell you about the horses in this race. The number 1 is Seaside Diva. Chris Page will drive Seaside Diva for Ron Burke. This is a down by the seaside out of the Real Desire mare Real Diva, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Weaver Buscemi, Knox Services, and Let It Ride Stables. This year, 5 for 5. Lifetime in 16 starts has hit the board 13 times with 9 wins, 3 seconds, and a third, earnings of $366,000. Last time out was a winner in the Ohio Sire Stakes here on June 22nd. A winner by a length and a quarter in 151. The 1A is Passline. Ronnie Wren Jr. will drive for Ron Burke. This is owned by Ron Burke at Burke Racing Stable, Weaver Buscemi, F. Baldacchino, and Rich Lombardo Racing, bred by Burke Racing Stable and Weaver Buscemi. 6 starts this year, a first, a second, and a third, earnings just under $50,000. Lifetime has hit the board in 16 of 19 with 11 wins, earnings of $598,437. Last time out, finished 4th, pacing in 151 and 3. The third entry for the Burke Stable is Lulu. Dan Noble will drive. This is a sweet Lou out of the Rock and Roll Heaven mare Sassa Hanover. We'll tell you more about Lulu when we return after the post parade.
Panic headed to the track for the 13th race, the $100,000 Grand Circuit Nadia Lobell for 3-year-old filly pacers. Scratch the 4. Geocentric is a judge's scratch. Race 13 will start at $1 pick 3. Here's the field. Scoring from post position 3 is number 1, Seaside Diva, Owned by Burke Racing Stable, Weaver Bersiemi, Knox Services, and Let It Ride Stables. Ron Berg trains, Chris Page drives. From post position 4, 1A Pass Line, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Weaver Bersiemi, Frank Baldacchino, and Rich Lombardo Racing, trained by Ron Burke with Ronnie Wren Jr. Post position 6 for 1B Lulu, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Philip Calor, Larry Carr, Frank Baldacchino, Ron Burke the trainer, Dan Noble drives. From post position 1 is number 2, Rose Run Zoe, owned by Miller Racing Stable and Let It Ride Stables, trained by Ryan Miller with Tyler Smith. From post position 2, number 3 is Flying Bullets by Helmholtz Kennedy Racing, trained by Claire Helmholtz, Chris Lems. 4 is Scratch, completing the field and scoring from post 5, number 5, Lions Legend. Is owned by 3 Lions Racing, trained by Jim King Jr. Aaron Merriman is in the sulky. Win, play, show, exacta, trifecta. 13th race will start at $1 pick 3.
It's a good day.
So there are the 3. There's the post parade, 3 of them with the Ron Burke stable. The number 2 in this race will be Tyler Smith and Rose Run Zoe. Ryan Miller trains. This is a lather up out of the Badlands Hanover Mare Crying Game. Miller Racing Stable owns, along with Let It Ride Stable, 3 starts this year, a first and 2/3. Lifetime has hit the board in all 11, 4 wins, 3 seconds, 4 thirds. Earnings of $237,000. Was a winner in the Ohio Sire Stakes back on June 22nd here at Scioto Downs, a $34,000 purchase in the Ohio Select Sale.
Number 3 is Flying Bullets. Chris Lems will drive. Claire Umholtz is the trainer, who also owns with Kennedy Racing of Sagamore Hills. This one has 1 win in 4 starts, is 4 of 12 lifetime. Was a 4th place finisher in the last leg of the Sire Stakes on June 22nd.
Scratch the number 4, Geocentric. The number 5 is Lions Legend. Aaron Merriman drives for Jim King Jr. This is the filly is by Stay Hungry out of the Western Ideal Mare Skinny Dip. 3 Lions Racing owns Lions Legend, has hit the board in all 3 this year, 2 wins and a second lifetime, 14 starts, 10 wins, earnings over $324,000. Last time out was a winner by a half a length in 151 3. And Jay, this is one of those races, the numbers are nowhere near like the post position, so getting the horses in order behind the gate is going to be a bit of a challenge. The post positions are Rose Run Zoe, the number 2 will start from the number 1. Flying Bullets, the number 3 will start from 2. Starting from 3 will be the number 1, Seaside Diva. Geocentric, who's supposed to be in the 4th, the number 4 starting in the 4th, is scratched, so that means Pass Line 1A will move down to the 4th spot. The number 5, Lions Legend, now will be in the 5th post position, and Lulu will be in the 6th post position. So how would you like to be the starter going, no, you're there, you're there, you're there?
Well, we'll see how well they do. If there's a recall, we'll know something is up. For those looking at the lines on Lions Legend, the TSS is the Stallion Series, which would be equivalent to our Buckeye Stallion Series in the state of Pennsylvania. So Lions Legend, the 5, has been racing in the 2nd level of the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes, if you will. 2 wins last 2 times out with Tim Tetrick in the bike. Tim does an awful lot of driving for Jim King. Jim King is an East Coast-based trainer out of the state of Delaware, and Tim Tetrick does an awful lot of driving with them, so Aaron Merriman will pick up the drive today in Tim's absence.
So right now, the favorite, as you would expect, are the 3 betting choices. You get 3 for the price of 1.
Well, which
they
one, though, is causing it? Is it Seaside Diva, Pass Line, or Lulu?
I think it's probably Seaside Diva, but the funny thing was, just a minute ago, it had the number 2, Rose Run Zoe, as the favorite at even money. And the other ones were at 4 to 5. Now, I'm not pretty good in math, but I think 4 to 5 is better than even money.
That's
for the odds,
yeah.
But
See, I have a computer over here that I'm putting numbers in to tell me, but you can do that right off the top of your head. So,
it helps when you're married to a former teacher who teaches a lot of math. So, and those 4th graders have tough fraction problems that she brings home. So as we get set to go, the Burke stable with 3 chances to get to the winner's circle again. And, Seaside Diva, the Ohio bred, 5 starts this year, 5 wins. Chris Page has been in the bike for all of those. They haven't really been dominating wins. You go back, the last one was by a length and a quarter, by a neck, a nose, a length and a half, and 3/4 of a length. Has a mark of 151, set that last time out here at Scioto Downs on June 22nd in the Ohio Sire Stakes. Has won all 3 legs, or 2 of the legs of the Sire Stakes, did not race in the first one.
Take a picture of the 1A pass line, owned and trained by Ron Burke, but while the horse was in Canada, was under David Mineri's barn. So you don't often see a Ron Burke horse that isn't trained by Ron Burke, but when the horse is an Ontario bred, when is racing up there in the Sire Stakes, and then the Fan Hanover raced under the banner of David Mineri, one of the top conditioners in Ontario.
And then the third one under the Burke banner is Lulu. Dan Noble will pick up the drive for Ron Burke in this. Still looking for the first win of the year. Has 4 starts, 1 third. Did win a qualifier in 152.
Do you think 1B Lulu's got a little complex? Last 7 starts, 7 different drivers. Dan Noble, Andy Miller, Anthony Napolitano, George Napolitano Jr., Ronnie Wren Jr., David Miller, Yannick Gingras. That's a pretty good Legends race there.
Pretty good lineup of who's been driving. By Lulu, the only one to get the win though was in that qualifier. So right now the Catch the Fire timer ticking down to the start of this race, just 20-some seconds away. Flying Bullets, the number 3, was a $150,000 purchase at the Lexington Select Sale, coming off a 4th place finish in the Ohio Sire Stakes. Right now at 17-1, 3-5, the number 1, and Rose Run Zoe sitting there at 3-2. 5-1 is the number 5 Lions Legend. Aaron Merriman driving for Jim King. Has won back-to-back races. Won a winner at Philadelphia and a winner at Pocono Downs. Tim Tetrick drove both those, but Aaron Merriman gets the drive.
The gate is beginning to roll, so we'll set it up to Barry Vickroy with the call of the 13th and final from our broadcast from Scioto Downs.
Three-year-old filly pacers, the $100,000 Grand Circuit. Nadia Lobell from the rail out. Rose Run Zoe, Flying Bullets, Seaside Diva, Pass Line, Lions Legend, and on the outside, Lulu. They're at the post. Here they go. Here, off into pacing. Rose Run Zoe goes out for the lead. Lions Legend pushing off the wings. From in between horses comes Pass Line to the inside, Seaside Diva. Racing away 5th into the turn is Flying Bullets. Early trailer is Lulu as they motor around the turn and head to the quarter. It's Rose Run Zoe with the lead. Pass Line will have to tuck in as they speed on over to the quarter. Seaside Diva is their 3rd. Flying Bullets is 4th, and they pass the opening quarter 26-1. To the inside next is Lulu, and taking back and trailing as they pass the stands the first time is Lions Legend. Up top, it's Rose Run Zoe. Fresh off of a track record equaling performance. Last out, she shows the way. Pass Line is 2nd. Seaside Diva is 3rd. 4th is Flying Bullets as they make their way on over to the half. Lulu and Lions Legend complete the field. 55 seconds for the half, 28 4 second panel. Rose Run Zoe starts them down the back stretch. The lead, a length and a half. Pass Line is 2nd. Seaside Diva is 3rd. Flying Bullets is their 4th. And it is Lulu and Lions Legend still single file. And Rose Run Zoe opens up by 2, 2 1/4 from pass line. Seaside Diva starts to move to the outside. Flying Bullets is next up on the outside. Lions Legend inside Lulu, 123-1, 28-1 backside. It's Rose Run Zoe with the lead. Here comes Seaside Diva up on the outside, and she'll take over. Seaside Diva to the lead. Starts to open up. Pass line, digging in. Passing lane is Flying Bullets and Lions Legend to the wire. Seaside Diva. Pass line closing late. Seaside Diva wins it from pass line. Lions Legend and Lulu, 150-4.
Seaside Diva shoots around that final turn, fires down the lane, and then just sits there and basically, you know, again, another close one by a nose as pass line comes flying up to get second for Seaside Diva, and that means the Burke banner will get first and second in this race.
Chris Breckler just went down. I wonder if he has an Apple Watch on to find out how many steps he's had to go up and down the winner's circle tonight.
Well, he's taking down a couple of Seaside Diva trophies with him down there, and he's going to pick up another one. So co-owned by Burke Racing Stable and Weaver Buscemi, Knox Services, and Let It Ride Stables. So Chris Page wins the first race of our broadcast, and he wins the last of our broadcast.
4 wins on the day for Page, and 4 wins for trainer Ron Burke.
So your winner, Seaside Diva, stays a perfect 6 for 6, 10th career win. Earnings will now be up over $400,000.
She's going to be a diva if she keeps winning like this.
Well, again, just one by, we'll see how they call it, if it's a nose or a neck, but one of those just knew how much Chris Page had, and just knew Ronnie Run Jr. was coming with pass line, but held on and got to the line just in time for the win.
Looked like Aaron Merriman and 5 Lions Legend may have got up for third. I thought I saw a black 5, but he had a rough trip. He left the gate looking for a hole, and the hole's all closed up, so he was forced to go all the way to the back of the field, and obviously you had to pass 5 horses to get to the lead, and pass 3 of them at least.
So Clever Cody making
No, that's
his
not
way.
Clever Cody.
No. Seaside Diva, I was reading what was on the line. Yeah. Seaside Diva.
Graphic department's throwing us curveballs.
Yeah, don't throw them in late at the night.
Exactly.
Number 1, Seaside Diva, 3-year-old daughter of Down by the Seaside, out of the Real Desire mare, Real Diva, owned by Burke Racing Stable, Weaver Buscemi, Knox Services, and Let It Ride Stables. Ron Burke, the winning trainer, Chris Page, will pick up his 4th winner on the evening. A grand slam for Chris. Seaside Diva still perfect this season, now 6 for 6, 10 of 17 in her career. She picks up a new lifetime mark tonight, 150-4, and winning the Nadia Lobell.
150-4, new mark for Seaside Diva, 6th win on the year.
We got to talk to trainer Ron Burke. He finished 1st, 2nd, and 4th. What the heck?
What would you do? Now, the interesting thing is they had win, place, and exacta.
Yep. So in theory, the Lions Legend will pay the price, and whoever's 5th will pay the show price.
So there you go. But they didn't have show betting, so you didn't have to worry about that. I don't think they did.
Our program doesn't say that,
No.
so I'm wondering if they would have allowed
I
it.
thought I saw at the top it just said win, place,
Okay.
and then exacta betting.
If you're looking at the screen, number 18 did not finish in 4th. I think that is their attempt at a B.
Pass line finishing 3rd by Lions Legend. 1B Lulu was 4th, finishing 5th. Number 3 Flying Bullets. The injury finishing 1, 2, and 4. Your exacta will be 1 and 5.
There you go.
Trifecta will be 1, 5, 3.
153 on the trifecta, so they had the trifecta in there. Rose Run Zoe finishes 6th, who led most of the race and ended up fading all the way to 6th place. We'll see if they end up getting an interview for this. The Nadia Lobell. I'm sure they'll probably try to get Chris Page one more time.
It's got to be getting tired of Running out of things to say.
Not Chris. Chris never runs out of things to say. So the winner, Seaside Diva, in 1. So 150-4 so let's sit down for the interview.
Driver of the Nadia Lobell Seaside Diva. You got away third there. It looked like you never really had an anxious moment. You had a pretty big hold on her down the backside.
Yeah, short field. The filly's been obviously perfect. Just try to keep her out of trouble and give her a shot late was my strategy.
When you got around Tyler there, stablemate's pass line, she was coming towards your side. Any anxious moments in the stretch, or did you have a feeling you could out-sprint her?
Yeah, I mean, pass line, I think she was second in the Breeders' Crown last year, so her resume has some good marks on it, and she's no slouch by any means.
4 winners so far here tonight. The first race, the Ohio Sire Stakes, 2 Next Generations, the Nadia Lobell. What kind of night is this? Like, what is Chris Page thinking right now?
Yeah, you know, you got to come through on the big nights. You know, I want to thank from the grooms to the owners, all the way to Ronnie, everybody that's involved. It runs like an intricate machine, so it's cool to be part of, and everybody has a lot of money on the line, so it's time to get it on nights like tonight.
One more coming up for a team of Burke, a Night Shadow in the open pace, coming off of a confidence-boosting win last time out. What do you make of his chances here tonight?
Just leaving the winner's circle, Ronnie Burke said, good night. Hey, don't forget to win with Night Shadow, and hit me on the back. So we got to put the icing on the cake for the night.
Chris Page, Ron Burke, 4 winners so far here. This is Saturday night. Seaside Diva takes the Nadia Lobell, 150-4.
Not a bad night for Chris Page when you look at what he did. Wins the $100,000 Ohio Sire Stakes, wins 2 Next Generations for $150,000, and then comes back and wins a $100,000 Nadia Lobell. That's $500,000 in purse earnings in 4 races for Chris Page.
It's good to be Chris Page tonight.
Yes, it is. Really good to be Chris Page. So that's our final race. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap it all up from Eldorado Scioto Downs right after this.
Athletes, they come in all shapes and sizes. They catch, they leap, they run. Some athletes even come with 4 legs and paws and hooves. When these beloved family members need care, remember the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center. Ohio State experts wrote the book on exceptional animal care and know how to get our best friends back on their feet. The Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center.
Volstead, Coach K Hanover, Slay, Ohio's top trotters stand at Dublin Valley Farms. Volstead's offspring include Sugar Instead, the 2023 Ohio 2-year-old Trotting Filly of the Year, and 2024 Ohio Sire Stakes winner Jurassic Hattie. Coach K Hanover, the son of world record holder Walner, and Slay, the son of Chapter 7, standing his first season at Dublin Valley Farms. It's been a great night of racing here at Eldorado Scioto Downs, and tapped off with 4 wins by Chris Page tonight. We started our night with the Next Generation Filly Pace. That was won by The Word Is Out and Chris Page. The Next Generation for the 2-year-old filly trot. The winner was Aunt Lily for the stable. Big win for the stable.ca. Then it was Page and Burke coming back with Swingtown in the 2-year-old colt pace. What's Shaking and Ronnie Gillespie picked up the win in the 4th of the Next Generations, the 2-year-old trot. Then we had the Moneymaker, and that went to Allegiant and Hunter Myers. We came back, and then we had the 3-year-old colt pace, the 2nd division, for $65,000, and that was won by Clever Cody. And then it was Seaside Diva hanging on to win the $100,000 Nadia Lobell. And so a big night here, and we got another big week next week with County Fair racing, don't we? I saw you pulled out your Huffs Guide.
Pull out the Huffs Guide. We go to Wilmington on Monday and Tuesday, and then a group of you will also be in Bell Fountain on Monday and Tuesday, and the doubleheader at Cortland on Tuesday as well. So 3 places to race on Tuesday, 2 on Monday, and better get some sleep because the fair season's getting
exactly.
hot.
It's getting hot, it's getting heavy, and it's getting a little bit crazy. So that'll wrap it up from Eldorado Scioto Downs. We want to thank everybody here at Eldorado Scioto Downs, the director of racing, Jason Roth, for allowing us to come here and bring these races to you, their entire staff as well. Want to thank Susan Schroeder, who helped to get some interviews. So for Matt Clark, Jay Wolf, I'm Frank Fraz saying so long from Eldorado Scioto Downs and Next Generation Night. We hope everybody has a great rest of your Saturday night. Good night, everybody. This has been The Next Generation. Saturday Night at the Races has been presented by the Galbraith Equine Center at the Ohio State Veterinary Medical Center and sponsored by Dublin Valley Farms, the Little Brown Jug, Midland Acres, and Prolific Equine. Saturday Night at the Races is a presentation of the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association.